Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Welcome to the Raiders of the Lost Commentary podcast.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
The unofficial commentary for your favorite
Get to the chopper!
and not so favorite films.
The famous comedian Arnold Braunschweiger.
Starring your hosts, Adam and Matt.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Start your movie in 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Here we go.
It is.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers.
Well, no swearing in this movie. We're keeping this PG-13, like Live Free or Die Hard.
Right. Yeah, so Die Hard. Probably one of the best Christmas movies that's not a Christmas movie that is a Christmas movie
Exactly.
of all time.
And now owned by Disney.
Yeah, that's true. Now the Fox owns it, right? So you'll never see like a raunchy rated R Die Hard ever again, which I guess would be fine because
That's a lie. You know, Disney friggin' with Miramax, one of the first movies that they released was Pulp Fiction.
I guess, yeah, Miramax too, they're pretty cool with doing raunchy stuff lately, right?
That's why they did it.
Ooh. This guy.
I know this guy from Ernest
He's in an
Saves
Ernest movie?
Christmas.
He's
in
how you
Ernest.
know it?
That's how I know. Like
That's
when
a
I watch,
deep reference you
I know.
got there.
When I watch Die Hard, I'm like, oh, it's the Saves Christmas guy. He's in a big movie. He made it.
This is like funny. I just love that one, he's able to smoke in the airport,
Oh yeah, I know.
and two, that he's just got a gun on the plane.
It's definitely like a movie of
You
its
know?
time that,
Yeah.
things you'll never see again.
But I don't know, like, were you allowed even back in the 90s, or I guess it's 88, to fucking just bring a gun on the plane? Like, oh, he's a cop. I guess that's okay.
I think you had to like
Have a permit to carry, I guess.
maybe.
But
I
like,
love how he just
he's
says
like,
it's
"Oh,
okay.
yeah,
I'm a cop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't worry about
just trust me. Yeah. Just some
I've been doing this for
exposition.
11 years. This is funny. They're just like, it's sort of like a Bond, sort of, you know, that he's all chicks sort of dig him. I'm pretty sure the guy with the glasses in the background is Jan de Bont, the cinematographer too. I think I remember learning that.
You're saying his name wrong. It's Jan de Bont.
Jan de Bont.
Jan.
Yeah, just smoking in an airport. That's
I mean,
crazy.
I'm pretty sure that you could still do that, like in the late '90s.
Yeah, I'm sure up to like 2000 and some, before people were like, maybe we shouldn't be breathing in toxic chemicals. This is Mr. Yakatomi himself, isn't it not?
Is that his
Or
name?
Yoshimaru?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying things now.
It's just saying things. Yeah.
So this is actually one of the only things that's not actually filmed in that Fox building.
Really?
Yeah, because the actual Nakatomi Towers
Yeah. Is
a
the
real
actual Fox?
It's now the Disney Tower, but yeah, it's the only thing that's a set. They couldn't build.
Interesting.
They couldn't have a big enough set in that building.
Interesting. I know that funny thing about the Fox building, they actually rented it to themselves.
To themselves, yeah.
which is interesting.
You know, I think once you learn about like movie like accounting and math, it's not that weird. Where they just like, that's why they can't pay you royalties, is because they had to pay the thing. You know.
Or why'd they go, shoot stuff in Vancouver?
Well, that's for tax benefits, right? So,
But it's still a financial.
It's a financial thing. I've said this in the other John McTiernan podcast, but I love how John McTiernan builds the world with the camera. You know, he moves the camera very good, and he frames things. You know, like he uses all of the wide frame, which I sort of love. And by him setting up like that one sort of steady cam shot around there, like you learn that entire thing, which you need to know that path later on, right?
I see what you mean. Yeah.
You know?
Like the picture.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of like good like little plot stuff in this movie that I really love. Just these little things with like Lucy McLean and the Gennaro thing.
Are you familiar with the origin of Die Hard, Adam?
Is like it's something.
book?
It was like a book. It
Yeah.
was like the detective or something like that.
No. The Detective was the first book. The second book, which this movie is based on, is I forget what it was called. Like I have the book at home, but it's under Die Hard, right?
Who do you know the author or not off the top of your head? I don't remember either. But there was
He's not like a
movie.
very popular. He's not like amazing. Yeah. There was a movie
With
for the
Sinatra.
Detective. Yeah, Sinatra had the first movie called The Detective, and back in like the '60s. And then the second book is essentially a sequel to The Detective, and this was originally supposed to be that. So they offered Sinatra because according to the contract, if they were going to make a sequel, they had to offer it to Sinatra. He was in his 70s at this time.
Oh.
And he didn't want to do it because the original book was about like this old just like this old
Like over the hill?
Yeah, older cop. And it's not his wife that he's going to go see, it's his daughter.
Oh, okay.
So there's a few like little changes. Like that's one of like the main changes is instead of his wife and he's not as old. And they brought down the seriousness of it. And I think originally it was also they were just supposed to be terrorists.
Not like
Yeah, exactly.
Fanatics?
John McTiernan wanted them to be actual thieves instead because he thought you want to make a summer blockbuster movie. People want to have fun. I don't want to do that political undertone of terrorists.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So they switched it to thieves.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean all the backstory of how these things turn into movies, right? But I love Ellis. Not Ellis, sorry, Argyle, right?
Argyle, that's it. Yeah.
It's got a full bar on VHS in that guy.
Speaking of like all the other characters, the fact that Bruce Willis was actually filming Moonlighting at the same time, the TV show,
Which was very different from this. This was a breakout role for him.
Yeah, this was a breakout role for him. It was also a breakout role for my God, I'm blanking. Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis is not in this picture. Alan Rickman. It's a breakout role for Alan Rickman. This was his first Hollywood movie. This was his first movie.
Really?
Yeah, he did theater before, and that's where I think the director or the casting agent saw him, and they're like, he would be perfect.
And now like obviously we know him in like a million other things.
Exactly, and he was even hesitant. He almost turned it down because he didn't want to play a villain.
Yeah,
And then, I mean, it's fair because, I mean, he was typecast as a villain for the rest of his life.
I guess Harry Potter, he's not totally a villain though, is
but
he?
he's totally a villain, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, I mean, Robin Hood, villain.
think-
Harry Potter, Snape is kind of the villain until much later.
My favorite thing he's done is
Galaxy Quest?
No, it's
Not
Hitchhiker's
even.
Guide. The depressed
Oh,
robot.
yes, Melvin.
That and Dogma. Dogma, I do like him as the angel. I love this. Christmas in Hollis.
Don't you got any Christmas music? This is Christmas music.
That's what I always say to
That's
people.
it. Roderick Thorpe. There. The movie provides us with who the author was. The
Right.
author of the original book is Roderick Thorpe.
I like. There's almost no throwaway lines in this movie either. Like there's a lot of exposition that happens like in everything. I don't know. I've always sort of liked that. Even this like long pull-up shot, they're showing you the entire like plaza, like where a lot of other scenes take place. You know.
Well, here's the funny thing too is it a combo of John McTiernan just the way he shoots, or because a lot of the script kept changing as they were shooting. So there's a few problems, like the ending wasn't really written until like later on when they made it. That's why one of the
combo of the two.
That's why one of the trucks at the beginning, you'll see the truck come in later on.
Yeah, the goof or whatever.
Well, clearly, there's no ambulance that can fit in there. That's because they never thought it was supposed to have one until much later.
I always sort of like was like, what?
It just gets bigger.
Yeah, I always sort of thought that was strange.
And that's the reason. It's because they didn't think of the ending until much later.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah.
Um,
I think, yeah, sorry. I was in the middle of talking about Moonlighting. So his show that he was doing, which is funny because the show's called Moonlighting. But essentially he would do Moonlighting, and then in the evenings after filming that, he would do Die Hard. but he was so tired because he was doing so much that they had to. One of the reasons again why they had to kind of change the script around too is they had to give more to the supporting cast. That's why there's so many. Like it's not just, and I think that's what it makes the movie better.
Like to build out the characters.
It's just building those characters.
Building the world.
I forget his name. Is it Ellis?
Ellis is the guy like the sleazebag guy.
Yeah, the sleazebag.
Yeah,
played by Hart.
yeah. He's great in this movie. He makes you like hate him, but he's like
No. Hans Booby.
Hans Booby.
That's actually a ad lib.
Yeah,
So
eh?
the reaction of I keep wanting to say Rick Moranis.
Alan Rickman.
The reaction to Alan Rickman is perfectly genuine.
Yeah, eh? They show you everything in this, like all the cameras.
Security cameras.
They show you those doors that come down after.
There's
you
the hidden
know?
security guy that's just
Yeah.
doing his nails.
You know what else? There's like a security guard that shows up later in this movie. He's like one of the bad guys. He looks so much like Huey Lewis that I
Yeah,
don't know.
you know what and you know the only way I know Huey Lewis is from watching Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, which another movie where Michael J. Fox had to be shooting a
That's
television
right.
show.
That's right.
And also doing the movie.
That was one of the reasons why he wasn't like they wanted him, but then he was doing that work, so they got I forget his name.
Krista Berg?
Is it?
No, Krista Berg's that fucking singer.
Oh, I don't know stuff, man. But they got another actor, and they had already shot like some stuff, and then eventually, they're like, you know what?
I forget his name.
We don't like it,
I'm not thinking. I'm blanking.
right?
It'll
There's
come
some deleted
later.
scenes of that. I mean, this isn't.
Some people think there's people that have put together evidence that they use shots of that actor we can't think of in the actual movie, like over the shoulder shots.
I believe so.
Yeah,
It's kind of like what they're doing with all the money in the world. I'm sure there's Kevin Spacey's in there at some points as like a shot of the shoulder and things like that.
why was he supposed to be in that movie? Or
You don't know about that?
no, is there because he's touching kids and stuff now that they're like
Yeah, Kevin Spacey. Like the movie was done, and the original trailer was with Kevin Spacey playing the main the rich guy. I forget his name.
and they
One of the
just
main characters.
replace him?
They replaced him with Christopher Plummer. They shot Ridley Scott took out his scenes and reshot the whole
That's
thing in
so,
9 days.
It's gonna be like all like shitty green screen probably, and it's just like, hello, I am now the main character.
I
of
mean,
the
think
movie.
about it, Adam. This is Ridley Scott. I don't think this guy does half-ass shit.
I think he's slipping a bit now.
I don't know. I haven't seen Alien Covenant, so I can't
I
say.
haven't seen
But
it either.
so back to the Die Hard.
See again, like he's setting up like it's quite the place, you know. Some floors are under construction, so that's why it like sets up later, you know.
Classic
also-
80s cocaine.
If you look in the background too, the background is just a massive painting. It's just it's just a set, right? And it's just a big old painting, you know.
I mean, it's not real.
No.
Adam, movies aren't real.
No, but again, I was saying this on another podcast. So just like it sort of looks pretty bad now, but if you watch this in a theater, like if you ever get the chance to go see it in a theater, that's like old 35 millimeter projection.
Yeah.
Like when they do it at the Mayfair, like it holds up. Like it's just sort of digital now, sort of lifted the gammas and different things. You sort of notice it a lot more, but
I mean, it's not that bad, but like the sky is very.
it's a very sunset-y kind of shot. But apparently, like back then with all the smog, it sort of had that look.
Really?
In Los Angeles, which if you watch old like the Lethal Weapon movies and you sort of see Los Angeles, you know.
No, I've never heard of it. What is
this
Weapon?
Lethal Weapon?
Yes.
Wasn't Die Hard 3 supposed to be Lethal Weapon 4 or vice versa?
I heard something like that. Like a lot of the
Yeah.
later Die Hard.
Or one of the
scripts-
Rush Hours, or it was one of those were like interchangeable.
I think it was Lethal Weapon turned into a Die Hard 3 script.
Yeah, eh?
A lot of things have happened with Die Hard though. Like the original some of the original scripts, like I think 2, 3, and 4, and even 5 weren't even supposed to be Die Hard movies until much later.
Yeah, eh? I know. So Die Hard 3, the heist that happens in Die Hard
Whoa,
3.
spoiler.
It's here's that truck goof, eh?
Yep. Clearly, an ambulance can fit in that truck.
It's like one of those little van
I know.
ambulances, right? It's a good idea though. The heist that they do in Die Hard 3, apparently the writer researched it so much, and the locations of everything and the way it works is pretty plausible that the FBI contacted him thinking like just as a security measure because of how plausible that heist was. And they actually, at the Federal Reserve, they put in measures as a plan in case that ever happens.
So essentially, it's art imitating life, imitating art.
A little bit, because just like the location of where they blow up the subway and where the walls are of the vault, it could work. Like not like it would have to be a lot more complicated, I guess, than what they did in the movies. They would have needed like a lot more dump trucks, I guess, but like. It was plausible enough that I
love the heist of the third one.
I know.
That's John McTiernan coming back and going, you know what? I'm going to do another Die Hard, and it's going to be better than the second one.
Because like everyone says, right? Like it's like 1, 3, and there's some debate on 4. And
I liked 4.
I really liked 4, actually.
I liked 4.
But then other people sort of...
The unrated version, obviously.
Yeah, it sort of worked a little better, eh? It was a good combo having Justin Long in there.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith cameo was pretty good too. I really liked that. I thought that was funny.
Because that was after he did Cop Out, or was it before? Right?
No,
No, it was before he did Cop Out.
It's way before Cop Out.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's how he met Bruce Willis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he really liked Bruce Willis going into that movie, and he really hated Bruce Willis coming out of that movie.
You want to know more about that,
Dude?
Go listen to Kevin.
I've actually I have some friends that sort of like talked with him off the record about that interaction with Bruce Willis. I guess it was worse.
It's worse than what
it's
what he said.
It's way worse. So
damn.
Yeah, I'll tell you off the podcast what he said, because it's
not something the public should know.
No, I don't know. I don't want to say out loud on the podcast.
You don't want Bruce Willis to come and kick your ass. Is what you're trying to
Bruce
say.
Willis.
Whoa. He's coming back, man.
He's gonna come Die Hard me.
I feel like he's tougher now because he doesn't have hair.
He's gonna walk at me.
He's faster.
Yeah, maybe he's more aerodynamic. I love his character in this movie though. Like,
well, he's the everyman.
He is and he's not.
Well, the original script, that's why there's like a mixture of both of them. The original script was supposed to be of just this superhero cop coming in and saving the day.
Superhero cop comes
exactly.
to save the day.
Well, actually, funny enough,
Arnold
was supposed to be,
and Stallone both turned it down.
A lot of people.
Richard Gere was one of the ones that turned it down too.
Yeah, I was looking at that. And yeah, you're right. Like they had so many people that they wanted for it, and so many people turned it down.
Yeah,
insane amount of people turned it down.
I do like the lighting in this movie too. Cinematographer Jan de Bont,
Jan de Bont.
I love this sort of era of anamorphic like lensing and all that. It looks so great. And I think they didn't think this movie was going to be a big deal at all, and like they didn't think like it was going to be the deal it was. So it sort of afforded them a lot of creative freedom in lighting it. They're like, yeah, just do whatever you want. Like you can do some kind of strange stuff, you know? So.
Well, it was also different. Think of franchises back then compared to franchises now. The studios didn't really get involved as much.
Not all the time.
At least I don't feel like they did. I feel like there's a lot more manipulation.
Yeah, there's like more hands like overlooking what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like it does. Just because, movies are way more expensive too.
That's the thing. Yeah, they sort of, and there's a lot of different money people attached to it, right? John McTiernan thought it would be funny that all the bad guys, these guys are all like male models at the time, right?
And they're all like over 6 feet.
Yeah, so they
like most of them. There's not. I don't think any. I think I was reading like the closest person to German that's in this movie is actually Bruce Willis because he was born in Germany.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, look, there's no way you could fit an ambulance in there.
And where's the ambulance?
And there's Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
It's a great villain reveal, though, right? I always love
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Alan, it's Alan.
Potter. Yeah, just that reveal. I always loved like movies where you see either good guys or bad guys, like their heist sort of plan, their heist setup, and all that, how they're going to do it. I always thought that was kind of like some of my favorite parts of films. And sort of not fully showing what's going on with their heist, you know?
Well, I remember watching this movie for the first time. I remember very vividly. I think I was like, I'll say 13. I think I was probably actually a little
Oh, so you're
older
pretty
than that.
young.
Yeah, a little. And my dad had borrowed this from our neighbor.
There's boobs in the movie.
I know. But there's not that. There's like a clip. There's like a second of
Yeah, but
boobs.
for a 13-year-old boy, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to download that for later.
I'm pretty sure the internet existed at the time, Adam.
Did it? I don't know. I
This
guess.
was 2003.
Okay, when I was 13, the internet didn't exist
Yeah,
yet.
because you're old. Yeah. So sorry. So I was 13 or 14. I could even be 15. I don't remember. I was young, but not like I wasn't of age of watching R-rated movies. And my dad had borrowed it from my neighbor, and it was on the TV, and I was just like, oh, what's this movie? And I was like, no one's here. I could watch an R-rated movie. Like I felt like, oh, look out! I'm gonna watch one because I hadn't watched a lot of R-rated movies. So I watched it like secretly. I was like, oh man, this movie's amazing. They're swearing in it. There's so much blood.
Wait.
But it's not even that R-rated. Like
Is
if you
this-
think of R-rated movies, Die Hard is actually pretty tame.
Yeah, I guess
in
so,
a sense.
yeah.
Or at least it feels like it is.
There's also porn on the walls in this back area. Did you notice
Yeah.
that?
One time, like he goes through and
But it's also even like it's gratuitous, obviously, but it's used as a plot device, so you know he's
back to
at
the same area.
spot.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was funny.
I remember watching it for the first time, going like, oh, this movie's actually pretty good. And then later that night, like my dad comes in and sits down. He's like, you want to watch a movie? I was like, yeah. He's like, you ever seen Die Hard? I was like, no. So we watched it again.
So wait, did you? Because I know you said you've watched the French version of most movies as a kid. So was this like the French version of Die Hard?
No, like French version meaning like when it
the
was on
French-
VHS.
The French
like
dubs.
Yeah, French dubs of like a lot of Disney movies and stuff.
Okay.
But things on video cassette, right? Because you can't change. But on DVD,
Yeah,
everything's
okay,
interchangeable.
okay.
And obviously, by that time, I started watching English movies. It's just
Okay.
like really early on.
I just would.
Disney
I think
movies, it was
watching
in
the French version of this would be also kind of funny too.
Well, speaking of French, they have French. I think it's French in a few other languages because Die Hard doesn't translate well in
No.
other languages. So in French and a few other languages,
Montfort.
well, they translate it to Piège à Cristal. Or
What?
Yeah, or other places is also there's something called the Crystal Jungle and stuff like that. They call it essentially Crystal Trap because it's a giant building full of like
That's
window.
funny.
I don't know. That's the original translation, and I just remember the French translation of the first movie is Crystal Trap. The second one translates to 58 minutes. I think it's called 58 minutes or 58 minutes. Till death or to death, to live. 58 minutes to live, and then
That's a
the
good
third
title.
one. The third one is called Die or Die with a Vengeance. Because it's Mar ou Crève, but Crève and Mar mean the same thing. It means
Right.
die. So it's Die or Die with a Vengeance are the translations.
Which is the third one.
Which is the third one.
That's funny.
And then they just followed with Mar ou Crève with the continuation
Right.
of the other ones.
Bad
guys.
So the bad guys are
with
getting out of the
guns.
elevator now. I always like that scene that just happened where the guy's cutting all the cords, but the other guy's trying to like
Yeah.
stop something. I always never really understood that.
Me
but
neither.
I was like, well, if you're gonna cut it, why does that guy need to do his thing? But then it seemed like he did something.
So it doesn't signal something?
I don't
probably?
know.
That's what I always guessed it was. Fun fact about guns in this movie. Back in the day, they would use real guns that they would modify
Or
for
yeah,
blanks.
it would be like a blank firing gun, right?
These ones, they wanted, here's the one gratuitous boob shot.
yeah.
Because here's one thing I never understood in movies and TV shows these days. Why do they always have to get completely undressed if they're going to do it like in an office space or something really quick? It's like, let's do it in the car. Let's take off all our clothes.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. That's just, to me, it never made sense. I was like, no, if you're going to do it in like these spots.
I just need the one part so
Exactly. But anyways, back to the firearms. I forget who wanted it. Probably John McTiernan. but he wanted the gunshots to be extremely loud, and as you can see, the muzzle fires really, and they don't usually do that. So they modified the gun even more
To have a bigger muzzle.
to have the bigger muzzle, so it was like really, really loud. That's
Yeah.
why.
There's different shells you can buy too that make bigger flashes in different
Maybe
conditions.
not back then.
Yeah, because I have looked into it for props before. It just, you can't get that shit in Canada because it's illegal. But there are different ones you can use. There's also like older movies, like they would have to like run cables up their arms and stuff like that sometimes.
Really?
Oh yeah. People have also died just from the.
Well, I mean, even back in the day, like I'm talking about really old movies, they were using real guns.
Yeah. But there's there's laws after the Crow thing happened that you can't use real guns anymore on sets. So all the firing pins have to be taken out, and so they're all just sort of fake. But
Here's a thing to look out for. I don't know if you know this, Adam, but if you watch Alan Rickman in this movie, Hans Gruber, they try to cut away from him when guns are fired
because he didn't like it.
He has a tendency to flinch.
Oh, really?
Every single time, because one, they're extremely loud.
I would flinch too.
But like they're even louder than usual guns because they modified them to have a bigger muzzle, right?
Right.
But anytime there's gunfire, they usually try not to show his face. There is a part where when he does shoot, I forget his name.
Ellis?
No. Nagasaki.
Yeah, that guy. I don't think it's something like that.
No. Well, I forget the name. I forget his name. The guy that they're talking about right now. The boss of the building.
I love that Ellis guy. He's like, it's not me.
When he shoots him, you can see him kind of flinch. So we'll look out for that when that happens. But yeah, they had to cut away a bunch of times just to save that. Oh, sorry, Nakatomi.
But it's the company's called Nakatomi.
But he's not Nakatomi, is he?
And Father of Fire.
I just love that because Takagi. Takagi. That's his name.
Mr. Takagi. You are late again for your potions class.
Potter.
There's also this thing in this movie. So the famous line from the movie, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker," right? But most people only watch this movie on television,
Is it
right?
the Melon Farmer?
No, it's "Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon."
Mr. Falcon.
Yeah, so that was the like sort of, I don't know, like people who watched the movie only on TV, they didn't know motherfucker, but like you can clearly see him mouth motherfucker, but it's like yippee-ki-yay, and then a really bad audio cut to Bruce Willis like in a studio like Mr. Falcon. It's like always what would happen, which is always kind of funny.
Well, I thought there was one that also says Melon Farmer.
Maybe Melon Farmer.
Melon Farmer, yippee-ki-yay, Melon Farmer. Actually, the yippee-ki-yay line, I believe, was an ad lib. It wasn't originally just because they were talking about being cowboys, and it just
kind of
came
came out
to Bruce Willis.
And now it's like,
he didn't think it was going to make it in the movie, but also the director, when they did it, I don't know. There's two things kind of. I don't know which one's real because some people say, "Oh yeah, it was just an ad lib," but then others say that the director wanted him to say yippee-ki-yay.
Really?
Yeah. Yippee-ki-yay. He thought the line was yippee-ki-yay, and Bruce was like, no, it's yippee-ki-yay. So they did both versions, and then yippee-ki-yay is the one that stayed in. So that's what I mean. Like, so was it an ad lib? And they're like, oh, we like that. Let's keep that. But actually say yippee-ki-yay, maybe?
I don't know. It's one of those things you'll never know. Like, but
I mean, unless you watch like the making of, maybe they talk about it. I don't know.
They might have talked about it in the commentary.
Maybe you should just stop
the movie and we'll
watch listen to the actual commentary. Well, you said John McTiernan actually has a pretty decent.
There is a pretty decent commentary on here, and again he does talk a lot about how a lot of thought went into framing and moving the camera to sort of show off the geometry of the room. So, because there's a lot of action that goes on that you wouldn't get confused during a lot of the action sequences.
I mean, it's brilliant, really. Like that's the way a movie should be done. You don't want to confuse the audience. Like, where are we now? Like,
exactly.
What's going on?
Or just like in a fight scene to not really know
Yeah.
who's who and what's happening. It's
I mean, why set it up then when you can set it up early on and not lose anything?
well, that's true. Yeah, that's exactly what I think he was getting at. But yeah, just again, like nobody really put any stock into this movie. They just thought it'd be a movie that would come out and sort of fizzle out
And not
like,
become
just
four
like
sequels later.
well, again, like they thought it would do like make its money back, for what it was.
But not as huge as they thought. Like, no one would think that this movie would become a
massive franchise success.
A Christmas classic for people our age.
No, that's true. I know.
Like, I mean, my Christmas classics, Die Hard is number one. I mean, there's other ones like I
Home
enjoy
Alone.
Home
Elf.
Alone. But Die Hard really is up
Yeah.
there as one of my top.
Estimated budget was 28 million, which is
28.
that's pretty low even by that standard. Right?
by the time. But I can see it because it's one. It's a building that they're renting themselves, but it's a building.
It's still like for an action movie, all the effects. There's some really good miniature effects works.
There is because they mixture of the miniature with the flashing of the actual building.
Yeah, and practical and like forced perspective stuff of like the actual building, but a miniature helicopter
Yeah.
or vice versa. It's like really, really well
All right,
done.
we gotta get ready for that. I love how he takes the silencer off too. He wants to make a statement.
Yeah, it's true.
But look for the flinching.
He's sweating pretty good there.
Oh, well, wouldn't you? The guy just took off the silencer, so you're maybe like, okay, maybe he's not going to shoot me. But he's still holding it. Like, do I trust this guy?
I'm Alan Rickman. Shoot you in the face.
Apparently his accent, his German accent, was actually on par. There's even certain lines that he said, because he studied, like, because, it's not German, because the second language in Germany is English.
I suppose.
But there's just ways that the English in Germany is different from. So there's certain lines that he says
That it's like
that
true
is
too.
pretty accurate to what
That
an
seems-
actual German would say.
That seems like what a really good actor like Alan Rickman
Right?
would do.
I mean, every time I hear it though, I always keep hearing him just speaking. Like it sounds like British.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
you
was
see
pretty
it,
brutal.
You kind of do it like he does the.
Yeah,
If you
eh?
looked at it, he just did a little bit of flinch. It's not
Um,
super specific. Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
I
Again,
had
this
a
is
bet.
the first shot, and I
like
remember
that.
seeing it like, holy crap.
I know like there's a lot of like, some of the gore in this movie that they ended up having to
Bring it down.
bring it down because
Really?
apparently it was like a little too much.
Well, I mean, like you see people get shot, it's like splurting out.
Yeah, which I sort of miss that the squib sort of effect.
Because Lethal Weapon had the same similar. Not as I
Yeah.
think this one had a lot more
When people
squibbage.
get shot, like they get lit up. It's pretty cool.
These days, it's mostly all CG'd.
CG or they do some squibbing, but it's just not to the
That's
level.
something I was angry about when I saw The Expendables.
The-
A movie that's essentially a giant homage and a love
of all those
of
that
all those
era.
that era films, and all of the action and the violence wasn't done practical.
No, I
It was
sort of
all
didn't
very
li-
CG,
didn't
and I was like,
that either.
oh,
Like
why would you do that?
it's because they got the PG-13, right?
No, the first one was R. The first two were rated R.
I
I'm pretty
guess,
sure.
yeah.
The third
So-
one was the PG-13.
It just
and
seemed like a waste. I don't know. Just like it seemed like they, Stallone had all these toys and didn't know how to play with them properly. It's too bad.
it is too bad. The director's cut is better than the original,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's still something that bugged me. I was like, why? You could do
Yeah.
it so practically.
Yeah.
Now they're doing
setting up.
things that
You need to have smoke, random smoke, in a scene like this. You
we
know?
never can get that smoke.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to get real smoke at him.
Yeah, it's hard. I also love that Asian dude with like the Fu Manchu.
He's in a bunch of
He's
movies.
in so many movies that you're
He's
like, oh,
in
it's that
so
guy.
many movies, and it's so funny to see because I'm trying to
No,
think. I
it's
think
the
he's in. I
vault.
think he's in
Isn't he?
Little Trouble in Big China or Big China.
Yeah,
Big Trouble in
Big
Little
Trouble
China.
in Little China. He's one of the dudes in that. I gotta do that movie. That one's fucking awesome.
I've only seen it once.
Oh, I love that movie. It's a funny one. I love this big vault that they have to break into. Also, like, the whole point of this movie is like, he's like, yeah, trust me, I got like an ace up my sleeve. And they're like, yeah, I guess we'll just go with this plan, I guess, you know? He doesn't want to tell him the entire plan just because he wants there to be mystery in it.
Well, no, the only reason they're doing that is so the audience doesn't know, Adam.
That's true.
That's classic of why the villain never reveals his plan even to his henchmen. It's because he doesn't want to tell the audience.
Yeah. We got a fire alarm.
Somebody call 911.
Huey Lewis is calling 911.
German looking motherfuckers.
I love how he's got to like figure it out, and like if you explain this premise of like, okay, just this one guy takes on this entire crew of dudes, you're like, oh no, it doesn't make sense. But just the way it sort of plays out, it sort of seems believable.
Again, in the movie, they also talk about where the Yippee-ki-yay line comes in.
Oh yeah,
It's because he talks about being
a
cowboy, but the
yeah.
movie that they're referencing is High Noon, which is about the single gunman coming into this town and taking out all the bad guys.
Yeah. I do like also they make the stakes small in the movie, right? Like the stakes are pretty small. Like he's just trying to save his wife, really.
Really, yeah. Really, he's just trying to save his wife, exactly.
And it comes back to family and all that of a broken marriage. And I also do like that they immediately weaken him, like no shoes, he's not like really dressed for it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's one gun sort of thing.
That's something to look for in the window breaking scene is the rubber feet that he's wearing. Look out for the Hobbit feet.
I know that shows up every now and then. It was Home Alone too. Apparently, there's like some pretty bad rubber feet that.
Really? Like walking in the snow.
Yeah, when when he loses his boots. Who is it? It's Daniel Stern loses boots down. There's like these really bad rubber feet that he's wearing.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
That's things again you don't really notice as a kid, and nostalgia
and
sometimes.
Even still, like until somebody points it out, you know. Pew pew pew, almost got you.
I mean, at least it's nice of this guy to just shoot first and ask questions later.
That's how you do it.
But like, I feel like that's how you kill people. Like, if they just waited,
you might get shot.
You might get shot. Well, what do you mean?
Like he might die. That guy, yeah.
See, why didn't he just shoot? He did it the first time, and then after that, he just stopped doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. Drop it, dickhead.
Why are you making?
I don't know. I'm just saying the alternate version is Arnold.
Well, it could have been, but again, McTiernan had already worked with him in Predator, and he didn't want that big superhero cop. He's like, I want an everyman so people can actually relate to this guy a little bit more than just like this superhero cop that I'm gonna save everybody.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm coming to save my wife.
Maria.
I'm actually an LAPD police officer.
But
I'm from
Austrian
New York.
Accent.
No, he's from New York, right? Yeah.
Right.
He becomes an LAPD.
The fights are pretty good in this too. Like I find they still hold up. You know.
Like, the guy just died because he fell down stairs.
He fell on his neck.
Yeah.
You could still die from falling on your neck.
But that's what I mean. Like this one, I mean, he fought, but it just ended so
kind of quick. There is a lot of decent fist fights in this movie, which now I feel like everything's so charged up, like from the Bourne movies, that they don't do like a messy looking fight.
Yeah,
you know?
at least the ending, not a giant mech looking motherfucker comes in. Like, if Die Hard was made today,
right, it'd be like the fight at the end of RoboCop.
The Wolverine.
Oh yeah,
that was bad.
The Wolverine fight at the end.
TMNT with the new Shredder that looked like a Transformer.
Yeah.
Which was pretty much the ending of the Wolverine anyways.
He's got his walkie-talkie and the shoes that apparently are too small, even though that guy is massive.
That's right, eh? Yeah, I never thought about like the guy being like gigantically big, but I mean the shoe thing is also, it's a joke on that, but I feel like it's also a dick joke.
A little bit of a penis joke, eh?
Yeah.
He's got a tiny penis. His feet don't look that, like, they look about the same size as his feet, you know?
Like, I feel like just cut it.
Maybe, eh? Anything's better.
But then
than
again,
feet.
like, I mean, he's not thinking right now. He's thinking, screw it. And
Yeah.
people are like, well, why don't you wear socks? Because I think the reason he doesn't want to wear socks is socks are slippery.
Well, he doesn't have them, right? Remember?
The other guy
Oh,
didn't
he could have taken the other guy's
Yeah,
socks.
he could have taken a sock. You know, at least a sock protects somewhat. But
Yeah, I guess. I don't
I
know.
know,
Like,
I
I'm wearing socks now, but I'm like, when can I take these off? You know?
I hate socks.
Apparently, like they actually shot in some of the real elevator shafts in the Nakatomi Plaza, or whatever, and they did get stuck.
Yeah,
In-
the
in the
who
elevators
directed
one.
Speed? Was it Jan? Yeah.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But the fact that he got stuck in that elevator when they were shooting it made him think of the beginning of Speed when they're stuck in the elevator.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I know they had to be like evacuated out of the
Well, that's a
elevator.
connection right there. It's from that came that scene in Speed. I'm pretty sure it's Jan de Bont.
Maybe
that directed it.
I don't know, but I do know he was the cinematographer. of these.
But he's made movies before Adam.
Yeah. It doesn't really show the on IMDb here.
Well, that's because you gotta click that part that says see full cast and crew.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't see right.
I want that shirt. The I now have a
Ho-ho.
machine gun. Ho ho ho! You can buy that shirt.
Yeah, I think like T Public or something like that.
I
They
think
have a
it's-
or
It's classic Adam.
that would be a great shirt actually. Although, yeah, it might be
What
ho ho ho
might be what Adam? Not appropriate for
for this
work.
this climate.
Yeah. Okay.
Speed.
Yeah. Director Jan
Jan
de Bont.
did Bant there,
Jan
guy.
de Bont.
I do, yeah, okay. And he's like learning about everybody. It's like a device to kind of see what's going on, right? Like that's the whole reason why he does this. At first, you think it's just to be a dick, but
No, it's just so he knows.
it's
Carl.
also so he kills that guy first, and then it sets up the big like the boss fight,
The boss fight
at the
with
end.
Carl.
You know?
It's funny because I remember. I don't know if you ever watched the Money Pit.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Well, again, the villain of the Money Pit, the ex-husband, the
Yeah.
ex-boyfriend, or whatever. I mean, every time I watch the Money Pit, I keep thinking of it's the same actor that plays Carl.
Oh, is it? Oh,
So like every time I watch the Money Pit, I'm just like, I can't take this guy serious as a musician because he's a terrorist.
that's funny. That's really funny. I think these are actual elevator shafts that they film in.
I feel like that would be
You know?
that would be a giant set if it wasn't.
Yeah, which they have been known to build those types of sets.
$28
before.
million, Adam. I don't think he was paid.
Well,
Bruce
like-
Willis was paid $5.
They sometimes just have some of these pre-built things on the lots that they just
you're
like,
right,
they go and use, you know. So here it is, the porno that they're like,
it's so quick.
it's so quick.
Like there's 2 scenes of boobs. Most of the movie is really just violence.
no,
and,
but I
and
just mean like
language.
it's a plot device.
Oh, well,
and
I mean,
then
you
they
could have put
know-
anything there.
And they know
They just decided not
he's
to.
really upset about his brother.
Carl.
Yeah, Carl, stop it.
Carl. You're German, Carl.
My hair looks fabulous.
Am I like Fabio?
Do I look like him? You
Do I
ever
look-
see that when Fabio got like was a goose flew in his face
No.
on a roller coaster?
Like for real?
Yeah, a duck like smacked him in the face.
That's amazing. Is he
Yeah.
okay?
Ah,
Is his
he's,
face okay?
yeah, he feels fine. He feels fabulous. Boo.
Good. Ellis.
Alice,
Harry, what are you doing?
this is what Coke will do to you.
Yeah, exactly. I just love how he thinks he can get away with it just because he's like, please, I've made business deals before. I can deal with this.
That's how Trump got into the White House. It's the same.
Oh my God,
method.
Ellis is Trump.
Yeah, basically.
If he didn't die.
Yeah. Well,
Ooh, we shouldn't say that.
Have you seen the Trump animatronic from the Hall of Presidents at
No.
Disney?
They have one?
Yeah, well, like they have to. They have,
They
all the
have to.
well, they
It's
have all
in
the-
their contract.
I mean, a year later, But so they have all the presidents. There's like animatronics. They say stuff, and it really looks like they thought Hillary was gonna win, and then they just repurposed the Hillary animatronic to look like it does.
No.
It's pretty funny.
So what? It's Clump.
It's Clump.
Classic line.
See, look.
Oh, God.
Doesn't it look like it?
That's so, yeah. They totally just repurposed. That's funny that they had they really thought that she was gonna win. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what it looks like? It looks like John Voight.
A lot of people said that. Yeah.
John Voight is apparently president of the United States at Disney.
I like that this lady's just giving him shit about.
But so calmly too.
Yeah.
Like you just heard gunshots, and they don't do shit.
And she's just like,
I know.
oh God.
Fine. Can we just have one cop? Is there anybody in the area?
Yeah. This is another thing I really love about Anamorphic is the bokeh turns to that like oval. You know. He's
Apparently, the actor, I forget his name.
Reginald Vale something.
Well, didn't he play a cop in the TV show that like? He was,
Yeah,
he
in
was
Family
popular for?
Matters.
Family Matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reginald Vale Johnson.
But even to this day, people like fans still give him Twinkies.
Really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
They always like put it in his car or like give it to him. Like anytime people say like, "Oh, you want a Twinkie?"
It's kind of a shitty thing, but
It's a shitty thing, but I mean, there could be worse things.
I guess, yeah.
And the Johnson and Johnson thing also comes from his name.
Really?
Yeah,
Because like,
they named the FBI agents. I'm pretty sure.
is that what it is? Because like, there is every Die Hard movie has a Johnson joke. Like this is Agent Johnson, Agent Johnson, no relation.
No relation.
I always love that. Like every Die Hard, well, most Die Hard movies are. It's look how cheap gas was.
I know, right? Back in the 80s.
Yeah. Just every FBI agent is named Johnson in the Die Hard franchise.
That's a lie.
What?
They're not all named.
Yeah, they're pretty well all named Johnson.
How many FBI are there? FBI agents in other movies?
Yeah, in the fourth Die Hard, there's like their name Johnson.
There's another Johnson in the
Yeah,
the fourth
it's just
Die
like
Hard?
a gag they do. It's like subtle. It goes by quick. Like you'll see it on a name tag or something like that.
I never noticed that. Like I know that in this one, they make it very obvious that
Yeah.
this guy's name. They're both named Johnson, no relation. I mean,
Yeah.
one of them is black and one of them's the guy from
Oh.
the Goonies
Yeah, the guy from the James Bond movie there that one time.
or Goonies.
Oh yeah.
That's where I know him from.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that guy was made to play a bad guy.
Really and truly, right? Bad acne will do that to you. That's what it's from. That's why his
Yeah, that's
face
what it's
looks
from.
all
But it
fucked
just
up.
he looks
He
menacing.
does, yeah.
Very, very menacing.
So here they're chasing him.
That's
I don't know how
Fabio
you
coming
run
at
with
you.
this fabulous hair. Look at it.
Adam, you have fabulous
I know.
hair.
If they did this movie now today, all the bad guys with long hair would have it all in man buns. That's what it would have. The guns really do fire.
Right?
I know the effects are pretty good.
I mean, and they didn't recycle any of these sound effects either. Those are the actual guns.
well, I'm sure
firing.
they would have had to get like.
Well,
they would-
they wanted to use like gunfire, but a lot of the gunfire back then was like recycled stuff from the 50s.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So they
like,
actually went to like a range with the guns and shot
And
live
shot them,
ammunition and
and-
actually. And it sounds good.
It does sound really good. There's, I think it's coming up here. There's like a mistake. There's a mistake that happens.
Oh, the
fall?
the fall. And then-
Yeah.
yeah. I remember seeing it. I was like, oh, there's no way that would happen.
And it's sort of
And
what happened.
but that is what happened. The
Yeah.
stuntman missed and ended up catching the next one.
Yeah. No, I think what it is,
Or he
missed.
fell and then they cut to him catching the second one.
Yeah, I
right?
think that's what it is. Like he misses the one he was supposed to do, but it was such a good, like
miss
real,
fall.
real take that they were like, okay, well, let's use it in a cut, and You know, I also like this is also one of the first action movies too where the hero starts to get pretty badly beat up throughout the movie. You know, like he gets progressively worse.
Again, there's the thing of like comparing it to like the super cop who just doesn't.
Right.
This guy is actually just taking him out of shit, and you can see all the cuts that he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he still.
By
looks,
the end of the movie, I remember by like the end of the movie, like he's bloodied up and he can barely move anything, and I love that.
there's definitely something to that. I think like some of the new Punisher that came out.
I haven't seen it, but
no?
it's similar.
No, just the like he takes damage, you know.
See, that's nice to see. I want people to get shot. Like,
So this is like it's I think it's a forced perspective. Like it's just a painting that goes all the way down. It sort of looks like it.
really?
Or it could be early green screen, but it doesn't look too green screeny. It's just like it's the set gets smaller all the way down. I think it is, or something like that. So that when he lets go, it's like a stunt man.
The missing.
I also just love that they like just stunt man. You know, I sort of miss that. Like it's not Bruce Willis in some shots every now and then, but you're sort of like.
Well, speaking of later, like this will be later, but well, I'll say it later when it gets to it. But there's a stunt thing. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Don't change the channel. There we go.
It's pretty good. Like.
Oh, it always gets you. You're like, oh shit, the strap's falling.
Yeah.
It's coming off.
I like those ticking clock moments they put in movies. Like they're coming to get him. He has to do this, but the strap is gonna break. He has to do this. You know. He misses it, but catches that one.
You can see, you can clearly see too. Like he would have completely missed it. He was so far off at that point.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked. But it's like one of those. Oh no!
And then he catches it, and you're like, come on. Here's the famous
quote. I love that.
Coast.
I love this.
This thing has been
Kind of like it's a little
so many
claustrophobic.
times.
Yeah. Love that.
Like that's the only reason why he did that.
Yeah. It's a good line. I do like that. And then, now I know what a TV dinner feels like. That was also something that was highly quoted back in the day.
Well, this movie, I've seen a lot of like TV shows and other films as well that have parodied this.
Parodied and,
Homaged.
There's a lot of homage.
It's a
cult classic.
cult classic. Well, it's not really a cult classic. It is a classic.
But I mean, it's got a cult following, I would say.
Sure, but I feel like when you say like a cult classic and a cult following, it usually means films that weren't popular
When it came out.
This thing was like huge when it came out, and it's still huge now.
Yeah, it's true.
Like I don't think none of it has changed. So I think this is just a classic. It's a monumental of a.
By the way, ductwork would never hold a 200-pound man.
Have you ever been in a duct, Adam?
No, but
How do you know?
I know ductwork, and if you can,
You know ductwork? Well, I know they're only held by like two little things.
Drilled into like drywall sometimes. Like it would
I'm
never hold.
But this is cliche Hollywood.
Yeah,
you gotta have
it's
ducts.
just funny. Also, like sheet metal like that. It's the loudest fucking thing.
Well, it's like the two things I can think of is this movie and Jurassic Park.
Right. Yeah. Again, crawling through ductwork.
Yeah.
Also,
But it breaks in that one.
I just like in movies too. Like my favorite is the Batman video games. You ever played those?
Yeah.
The ductwork is like it's massive. Like
I know.
and
I
like,
love when he rips them out of the wall.
Yeah, you just rip them.
Jesus.
It's like the size of like a small sedan car. That's how big the ductwork is in those games.
Ductwork in movies and then and video games.
Oh
That's usually how
no,
it is.
he was shot.
Here comes
See
Carl.
again. So we've set up that front lobby. We know that's the front of the building, right? Apparently, they went through $100 and some thousand worth of glass in this movie.
Really?
Of different breakaway glasses and glasses that shatter different ways.
And this is glass straight on the building.
On the buildings, the glass that they shoot out a little later on, that glass, the glass of the car, because the glass of the car, it's like they have to find like a special like piece of glass because it's like glass doesn't do that on automobiles anymore because it's like it's so dangerous. You know. Hey Huey, how you doing?
I'm sorry, but you're just too darn loud.
Yeah. You know what they say? It's hip to be square. That's one of his other songs.
I only know one song, Adam.
Oh.
And it's the...
You should listen to some more. You'll be feeling all right.
What can I
Evening,
do
officer.
for you? Uh-oh. Here we go.
Speaking
One
German.
police
I like
officer,
that. The subtitles.
They're speaking German, but apparently like a lot of the German in this movie wasn't...
Real German.
Well, it wasn't that great.
No.
Like, I think there's... I might have been incorrect earlier, but I think there's one or two actual people that are German, but apart from that...
The rest don't know how to speak German.
Well, I
makes
mean, they're not
sense.
all German either. There's only like a few of them.
Austrian or...
Well, I mean, there's they're terrorists. Well, they're thieves.
Right.
That
Terrorists.
part, the window part.
Yeah, there's a
he had
bunch
to
of
go.
him.
He had to. It took forever. He broke a chair trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah, I've seen that.
go through that window.
That's kind of funny. It's hard to break glass. It's harder than people think.
Well, you know, because you break glass a lot.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I've hit my head and I've hit stuff. Like,
I mean, you
into
cut
glass.
your hand with glass.
Yeah, but
too.
that was already broke. So.
Yeah, something you broke, Adam.
Yeah, I guess in the moving part of it. Freeze, motherfucker! Drop it.
Don't shoot! Oh no! And that guy, Jesus,
That guy gets lit up.
just lit. I like this part. I always like this part.
Yeah.
It's under the table.
He's like, when you get the chance to kill somebody. Yeah. Oh no, Reginald.
Carl. Is it
Carl.
Carl? I think it's Carl, eh? That's his character in Die Hard. It's his
Uh,
character in Die Hard and I think in Family Matters.
no, his name's Sergeant Al.
Oh, it's
Powell.
Al. Al, sorry.
But I think in Die Hard, his name is his name, not Die Hard, in Family Matters.
Family Matters, that is Carl.
It's Carl. Yeah. Yeah. Funny or Die did a funny short with him, like sort of recently. Thanks for the advice.
Gotta do that voice.
Is Bruce Willis left-handed, by the way?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I always-
That's why they modified the gun a little bit too.
Because like people, like the shells that fly out of the gun for a right-handed person fly off to the right, but if
But
you're
it flies in
left-handed,
his
you need a
hand.
left-handed gun.
Yeah.
Sometimes, otherwise the shells hit you in the face, I guess.
That's why they modified it for it because John McClane is left-handed, but that's because of Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I figured. So that's just some interesting. I never really picked up until I was watching Die Hard with a Vengeance the other day, but
Okay.
it's weird. I guess it's not
Now,
common.
which one's
So-
your favorite Die Hard?
So that
film?
glass, that like,
Yeah, I wouldn't do that anymore.
It wouldn't do
would
that
just
anymore.
shatter, wouldn't it?
yeah, because well, it just
It would just crack, but it wouldn't come out at you.
yeah, because
Yeah.
otherwise it'd go in your eyes. That's another famous line. Welcome to the
Famous line.
party, pal. I love that.
Like, Jesus.
Dude, I usually at Christmas they play this at a theater near us, and most people cheer throughout the whole movie. They clap and cheer. It's awesome.
What? It's a classic film.
Yeah, I love this. The car just biffs off. That's so good. And all the Twinkie rappers come out. It's so funny to me. I love that.
Al is not having a great day.
I mean, if you ate Twinkies all the time, you know for sure. This guy just shows up too now. Like this is like the new character, but that
Yeah.
guy's in the second one too. You know?
Yeah, I love his character in the second one.
Yeah, it's a good. I don't know. It's a good character, and
It's good. It's a good. I think it's a good little piece of writing for like the second one. I mean, it's probably one of the weaker ones.
I would say so. But, you
Maybe
know,
not the fifth one. The fifth one wasn't very good.
That one was really bad. But the second one, you know, I just like Christmas. I find myself putting it on just because it's like, it's just another Die Hard movie.
but
You know?
I'm not saying I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I still enjoy it, but there are better Die Hards.
Yeah.
Especially the first one.
First one's the best.
And then probably 3, and I would probably say 4 or 2 at this point, because 4 is a different vibe.
Yeah.
I'd probably go 1, 3, 2, 4, and then 5.
Yeah.
But 4 and 2 are pretty like close because 4 I really liked. 4.
I did too. Even though I saw it in theaters, seeing like the PG-13.
The PG-13 version.
I was a little disappointed with that, but I thought the way it ended. I don't know if people haven't seen it, but the way John McClane gets the bad guy in the end, I thought that was
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but it's such like a
John McClane way.
Yeah,
to
it's
do it.
just
But then
such a
again, like
silly
there's
thing.
a part in that movie where he jumps on a freaking fighter jet.
Oh yeah, it's insane. There's a bunch of insane.
They go
stuff.
crazier, I find, than any of the other movies.
The stakes the stakes are way too high.
So high, like it's the end of the world.
Basically,
almost.
yeah.
Well, maybe not the world, but
Like
America.
computer hackers have taken over the world.
Or
Remember that
America.
guy you kicked in 4th grade? Now he's stealing your money.
Well, apparently, Bruce Willis is one of like the ultimate Die Hard fans. Like this man respects the Die Hard franchise.
Yeah.
Which is funny to say because like Bruce, where were you in the 5th one, man?
Yeah, he phoned that one in.
But to say, I think like he had requested that the 4th one have more backstory on the hero, on the villain. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
just to give him fleshed out character because that's one of the great things about the first Die Hard, and even the second one, and even the third one. The first 3 have like a lot more fleshed out villains. Like you really go with the villains. You actually kind of respect the villains. Like I like Hans Gruber.
I
I
guess.
like Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
In the third, well, I mean, you like them. I mean, you hate to like them, but
Yeah, they
are
do make
good
them. They make them good
characters.
characters. They've like fully sort of fleshed out characters.
I mean, I
And
don't like the character in the second one, but I
Okay.
thought it was so cool.
the naked kung fu doing dude.
Like, I can respect the guy, but I didn't really like him, but I did like the whole plan that they have. Like, you have to admit, in the Die Hard movies, those villains have some sweet plans.
They have some good plans. They just did the line "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker" and goes
There's
out the door.
There's that line, yeah.
Yeah. So this whole news thing. that
I believe
goes
like
on.
that's another reason like they fleshed out more of these characters to give Bruce Willis less screen time.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah, I find this storyline too sort of gives Holly like
Something to do.
something to do a little less because she is sort of just hanging out there a lot. In the second one, she has a lot more to do. Right?
She has a lot more to do,
she
and so does
plays
this guy.
more.
And I really like his character in the second one because he's so awful.
He's such a weasel.
I love the change on this.
Welcome
this
to the
new-
news.
This is Harvey Johnson.
That's she is what's her name? Barbara something, but she's in a bunch of movies. She's the newscaster at the start of Back to the Future, and she is Bob Zemeckis' ex-wife.
Is it?
Yeah,
Ah.
she's in a bunch of stuff, and she has
Mostly
these small roles.
Bob Zemeckis' stuff, maybe.
Not always his stuff. I think she's in. She's also in the Lethal Weapon movie. She's like she's labeled Nurse Exposition. Like at the start, whenever they're like, "You can't hire Riggs," he's like, and then like tells you all the exposition you need to know about.
Oh, the psychiatrist.
Yeah, the psychiatrist.
Yeah,
And she's like, you can't hire him because he's a psycho, but he knows Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and like just like everything you need to know about his character.
Have you seen the TV show?
I started watching an episode based on your recommendation. I did start liking it. Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Like, it does its own thing.
But get behind it a bit.
Like, I would recommend, like, I'll be like, oh man, they should do a Die Hard, but I'm like, that wouldn't work because Die Hard is a weird situation where it's just some regular cop, really, that weird shit keeps happening. You can't make a show out of that because
It wouldn't work as well.
well, you already have 5 of these things happening. Like,
that's already too
There's
many.
a funny line in the second one where it's just like, how can the same thing happen to the same guy twice?
On the same,
Like,
at
it's Christmas, terrorists taking over, like the same exact one. And at least he calls it out in the second one, but
Yeah.
after that,
The third one, he's brought into the mix, right?
he's brought specifically into the mix.
I
And
thought that's clever.
Yeah. And you got John McTiernan coming back.
Yeah.
I always thought it was funny as John McTiernan directs a movie with a guy named John McClane.
I guess I never thought of that.
I thought of that like I was a kid. I was just like, oh, it's the same. Oh no, he's got a slightly different last name.
Yeah. These are like, it's funny, they barely play the scenes together at all. He's just like,
Yeah, it's only at the
know,
end when they
you
meet
never
each
really
other.
you never really think about him not being
With Al?
Yeah, that's what like they probably never had days on set together.
Except
you know,
for the end.
Sergeant Al Powell is in the second one too.
He
right?
is in the second one,
So
but
he's
again, still done over the phone or over the.
yeah, I like that they give him a little cameo. I wish they would have put him in one of the older, like one of the the fourth one or something like that.
Like bring him back after the fifth one.
Yeah, I don't
he's in
know.
Russia on vacation with his wife.
No, just even it was just something simple like they hang out on Sundays or something like they watch
I see what you
football or
mean.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that would've been
It would have
cool.
been like a little Easter egg, you know.
You gotta wait for Die Hard 6.
Yeah, are they making another one?
I had heard, again, it's so hard to know with movie franchise these days, because most movie franchises are either wanting to make a TV show out of it, or they want to reboot the whole series.
Yeah, and oh, this guy, fucking, he just got back from the high school where he's putting kids in detention.
That's right. I feel like he's dressed the same.
Yeah, he's just the same costume. He's just like, I gotta get back to
Same
that.
attitude.
Yeah, I like how all the cops are useless too in this movie.
Except for Al. He's the only use.
Apparently, a lot of cops take sort of offense to this movie that all the cops are sort of
Sure, but yeah, I mean, you gotta also think that, I mean, the main thing about this movie is the cop wins.
I guess, yeah.
John McClane is a cop.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, Powell. I used to live on a street called Powell.
Pal?
Yeah.
Next to Twinkie Lane.
Yeah, it was actually. On the corner of McLean and Powell. Look at this old school TV.
I had one of those.
The
It was black and white. That thing's actually color. Man, high tech.
What's this? Christopher Nolan. That's what he uses as a director's monitor, because nobody really uses those UHF signals anymore.
Right.
So instead of having a really expensive monitor, he just gets he has a little TV like that, and he gets the wireless signal that way, and it just for framing and all that, because a tap off a film camera isn't the best anyways, but
Sure, but I mean the quality is not that great on those things.
yeah, he just wants to see framing, I guess. It's he's a very
he's very old school.
Yeah, he doesn't have a cell phone. I don't think he knows how to use a computer.
Because he's not
or
that
something
old
stupid.
either.
No, he's 40s, you know.
But he's not in the older generation of directors.
No,
either. But yet he's got the very old fashioned way about him. Still shooting, I think, film, doesn't he?
Yeah, which there's a lot I respect about the way he films stuff. You know,
I mean,
practical
Dunkirk to
and-
me was fantastic.
Yeah, I was fucking. Man, I think I had a panic attack during that movie.
I
It
know,
was so
right?
intense.
It's so loud. It's so intense. It's so good. Just
Jesus.
everything about that movie.
It's also okay. Another great exposition. They think it's Takagi's office, right? It's her name's Gennaro, so they're using her office, right? So the hiding his identity to kind of protect everyone,
Yeah.
because as soon as they would know it was they're
Of course.
related, then they could just be like, okay, I'm gonna shoot your wife in the face.
Well,
you know?
there's a part later on. Again, right now she just says Miss, right, instead of the Mrs.
Right, yeah.
McClane, because I mean she is still married.
I
or
would
separated.
do exactly what he's doing. Cheers to me. I love this character in the movie.
Argyle.
Argyle saves the day.
That'd be such a weird circumstance. You're just wait, what? And that's not a great thing that he's drinking, because I mean he'd be having to drive
That's the
later.
80s.
It's
What
the
do you
80s.
want?
You do cocaine when you're a businessman, and when you're driving a chauffeur, when you're being a chauffeur, you drink.
Hey, just have
heavily.
it. Man, it's how you stay sharp.
That's how you stay sharp.
That's how I stay sharp.
Oh God. I in no way. There's no
See,
in no
me-
way. There's Raiders of the Lost commentary.
Condone drinking or driving. We do condone doing coke and driving. You're more alert. You're
Jesus, stop it, Adam. You're gonna get us sued.
yeah, by who?
Well, maybe I don't know. Bruce Willis.
Mothers against cocaine.
They're gonna be
driving?
mad. They're gonna be macked.
They're gonna be mad.
They're gonna be macked. Jesus,
It's probably some
the cops
stockbroker.
are extremely.
Yeah, it's just probably a stockbroker. You know what it is.
Just randomly a stockbroker. Yeah, just
All these big
jump
lights.
The thing.
Love this. God, I need to. Have you ever seen The Last Boy Scout?
It's been a while.
Yeah, that's a good fucking Bruce Willis movie.
Didn't that's Shane Black?
That's Shane Black that did that one. It just sort of captures the perfect like tragedy sort of hero, you know.
Again, that's another movie I just seen once
Yeah.
and never rewatched, and I don't remember any of it except it was with one of the Wayans. Damon Wayans.
I think it's Damon Wayans. Halle Berry's in it too. She's pretty good. There's a couple other people you're like, oh, that guy, you know.
Probably that Asian dude from this movie too.
He's in it too.
He's in everything. I mean, I'd hire him. The guy's just got a specific look about him. You can put him in anywhere. He could be. He's the everyman, really.
Another thing, there's a big trope that this movie started was just the one location sort of movie, and people just started pitching movies as it's
right.
Die Hard, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
right?
like Under Siege. It's
Well,
Die Hard, but
on a boat.
On a boat. It's Die Hard, but on a train.
That's how Speed was pitched. They were like, yeah, it's Die Hard, but on a bus, right?
Yeah,
which is essentially
who directed Speed again?
Jan de Bont.
John de Bont.
So that's how that got made.
People love the Die Hard premise.
Again, Jan de Bont, cinematographer of that. Speed has some pretty good practical effects that still hold up.
Does it? I haven't watched it in a bit.
Like
I
the
remember
bus
Speed
jump
2
and-
more than Speed.
Yeah, that one doesn't even have Keanu Reeves in it, right?
No, it's got that dude that's not Keanu Reeves
I love this.
and Willem Dafoe.
I always love that these badass military dudes going through. They're going through a rosebush. He's like, "Ow!"
This part right
This always
here,
gets me
this
too.
part right here, where he grabs the food.
He grabs this chocolate bar.
That was him. He went to the director. He's like, I think it'd be really funny. Like, I feel like there should be some comic with it. Is it okay if I grab chocolate bars? And they're like, yeah, go ahead, bro.
It's pretty funny. He's
It's like, I'm just gonna, I mean, wouldn't you would, right? I feel like, I mean, they're criminals for God's sakes. Like, I feel like you'd be like, I mean,
Chocolate.
they're here. I might as well grab a couple.
yeah. There's no way out, Argyle.
What you doing, Argy?
I love all this work that they put into like setting up all the guns for this. He's just gonna hang out now. See those anamorphic kind of like artifacts that happen?
Yeah.
Apparently that was sort of at the time they didn't do that as much. Like you see it in some Spielberg stuff, but like it was considered a mistake. Like,
Really?
in a washed out take back in the day, but they sort of like, yeah, you know, like we'll add the flares, and it's, you know, now J.J. Abrams kind of like overdid it a bit with.
But then again, I
some
mean,
flares, but
the J.J. Abrams, I mean, who's his idol was
Spielberg and all those, you know, flares and
Old
stuff.
school.
Which I like. I think the early Abrams stuff, like he did get it all in camera. Like he used those old anamorphic lenses to get that effect. So, but now it's been sort of overdone and it's sort of digitally inserted, and it doesn't always look as good, you know?
Yeah, like as we can see it right now. We just saw the flares.
Yeah, but it's funny how that it sort of informs what the subconsciously you view as like a cinematic image, you know?
Yeah.
Like flares, the oval bokeh in the background, bokeh, whatever people call it.
Bouquet.
Bouquet.
Yeah, a bouquet of flares, they call it.
You know, the fringing on the edges of the frame. So it's like when you watch it on film, it's so, I don't know. I don't want to be like that old trope of like film is better, but it does have its own look, you know? I love this police chief is just useless,
Useless.
you know?
Although the most useless police chief I ever saw was in a movie called The Rookie
The Rookie?
with Clint Eastwood
Yeah, I've never seen that.
and Charlie Sheen. It's not great.
No?
Like, there's some good stuff in it, but my God, is some of the dialogue. One of my favorite lines, and it's from the chief of police in that movie, and the guy's a joke. But one of my favorite lines is he yells to his police officers, and he's like, "It's not just a job!" And then the camera just slowly pans towards him, like just like closes in on him like real fast. "It's a fucking adventure!" And you're like, what? What kind of line is that?
It's funny.
Like, I
Yeah,
get you're
that's-
trying to like rile up your troops to come save like Clint Eastwood, but like that's a
funny.
weird way to say it.
They have this big APC thing.
That thing is sweet. And I love just the camera work right there. They just walk by and you just see rocket. And you're like, oh,
that's what
I know
they're
what that
doing
is
there.
now.
And then they're coming down, and yeah. I guess a lot of the floors were just kind of, those 2 floors they were working on were just like vacant, and they just sort of mocked up a lot of construction that was going on to sort of like make it look like they were under construction, you know?
Right. Because those are
But-
the actual...
He's getting mad at him, and then he leaves it. March Snell.
That's where I know.
I like
Schnell.
there's no from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Schnell.
Was it Michael Kamen did the score for this too, eh?
What has he done?
Um,
Aliens?
I think that sounds familiar.
Because I know they recycled like one of the endings songs at the end is straight from an unused music clip from Alien or Aliens.
Well, it's Lethal Weapon. That's what I know
Lethal
from the
Weapon.
most. And Don Juan apparently, which was one of my favorites.
Don Juan, really?
No, I've never seen it.
Is that the Johnny Depp one?
Yeah. Michael Kamen also did this cool thing with Metallica, where he took their songs and they played like a live show with a live orchestra with Metallica. It's pretty good. It's like called Metallica S&M.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. Oh, I guess he did a bunch of Band of Brothers too. So I always liked Michael
Last Action
Kamen's-
Hero, Lethal
yeah.
Weapon, License to Kill, Hudson Hawk,
the famous comedian
Arnold Goldschlager.
Goldschlager.
I don't know. It's gold something, isn't it?
Isn't Goldschlager the fake alcohol and
I'm pretty sure Goldschlager is a real alcohol.
is it?
I don't know. I've heard it somewhere. It might have been a movie and it might have been
I'm
fake.
not 16.
Is it like Canadian Club?
Canadian Cottage.
Canadian Cottage. Is that the fake one?
You'll drink it. He's like gonna set up the C4. Fuck it.
Put them all in there.
I don't think it matters how many detonators go in.
I feel like he's just being cautious.
Maybe.
Wrap
Look
that
at
up.
that giant monitor.
I know. My dad still used one of those until like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What,
He still had like an old monitor like that, and I'm like, Dad, like I have like 2 like LCDs at home. Do you want me
Yeah.
to give you one? Like,
Your dad's
I think
watching.
he got rid of it when he moved. But like,
So these are pretty cool
seriously.
practical effects with those
a
explosions.
mixture, yeah, because it's a mixture of
It's flash bulbs and
flash bulbs
and
and miniatures.
miniature, and then like hitting a flash bulb, but also at the same time, like just shooting just debris out.
Yeah.
You know, and they actually did that like at the Nakatomi Plaza. Like they just flashed the windows a bunch, so to get that
You mean
effect.
Fox?
Yeah, Fox at Disney.
At Disney now, formerly known as Fox.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. Like
It
they
is
actually
crazy,
had to
right?
do that. See, like I guess in the '80s, like newscasting about something like that was a big deal, but now it seems like in the States, like shit like this is happening every week.
Yeah,
know?
you just need like Jake Gyllenhaal with his own camera doing night
Yeah,
crawling.
right. That was a fucking great movie.
That was great, but creepy as hell.
Yeah, it was. I love this photo. Of
It looks
Hans
like Chuck
Gruber.
Norris.
A little bit, and he's just like
He's just like, "Arr!"
he's getting a coffee somewhere, like you know,
It totally looks like Chuck Norris. Doesn't look at all like Alan Rickman.
file photo.
At least, although these days it would have just been a photoshopped pic,
Yeah,
and it would have looked awful.
You know what? You know
for
what I
some
always
reason.
hated in movies when the file photo of people is just a still from the movie earlier.
Oh, I hate that. It's like, where did they get the camera for that? Or
Yeah.
like when they show like video footage, and it's like video footage, and it's like slightly moving. You're like, who photographed this?
Yeah.
Like you're telling me that's what CCTV? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Bull crap.
Or the enhance. Enhance always bothered me.
Oh yeah, enhance. Yeah, let me just get that in like what is that, like 3,000 megapixels?
It's in
like, Jesus.
in the first Photoshop. Let me just zoom in on it. Oh look, it's just more pixels.
That's like any TV show. Yeah, they're just like, oh, just zoom in on this license plate. That's
enhance.
like, let's.
Enhance.
One of my favorite things, I forget which TV show it is, but they found the license plate off someone's eye that was just a reflection. I was like,
reflection?
come on, that call bullshit on that.
That's a
You
little
can't
much.
do that.
Yeah, there's a Fringe had some like things like that where you're like, what? Like there's one where they find out about the killer based on sound, sort of imprinting on a window, and they're able to use like record player technique to like extract the sound.
The NCIS does that a lot. Like not the sound part, but just a lot of like techno jabble that they just figure like the audience won't know, and you're like,
They use the combobulator.
my favorite is when they're hacking or when they're going on the. I'm just gonna go on the computer. You're like, most people just use the mouse to go online.
I'm just gonna click here.
I'm gonna click here, but they're like they do everything on the keyboard, and it bugs me that no one's ever using a mouse
That's true.
all the time. Like you can't
I guess
do
if you're
anything.
a
You can't open
programmer,
programs and
yeah.
stuff like that.
It is true.
It
People
seems
just
more
button
out
mash.
of. It just seems more out of like. It feels like you just be like you could just. There.
You know what? It looks better though to mash a keyboard than it does to just click.
It does. I know it does, but it's not real.
Especially those old keyboards, they make really great sound.
And everything happens. You press enter and everything works.
That's true.
I'm in. But like, dude, you used to. It's like Fast and the Furious. Ludacris is a hacker in the later series,
Yeah.
but in the second one, he's just a guy that runs races. Like he's just
Oh,
a street
yeah.
guy that just runs races.
I
All
never
of a sudden,
really-
he's a
That's
hacker.
what we should also get into those movies someday soon.
We should do all of them in
Like-
one sit, but fast track, or just talk about all of them maybe.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I can't get. I remember watching the first one in high school, and I was like, "Whoa, cool cars!"
Me too. Cool car
And then like
races.
the story was, it didn't even occur to me. I don't know. You're like 13 years old. You're like, yeah, I too want a car with a spoiler on it.
But now it's actually still the same thing. It's whoa cars,
You know,
and who cares about the
there it is.
story?
Hans, Booby,
Booby.
I'm your white knight. I love that. And he's gonna like broker this big deal.
He's just
Doesn't
so
he do?
cocky.
Doesn't he do a line of coke right before he goes?
I
into
believe
this one?
so. I believe he does.
I love this.
That's the
I love how he
smile.
says,
It's the smile.
I can give you.
I hate it. I hate his smile. It's the
Why?
smile. It's so like smug.
Yeah, it's
Like
used-
obviously he plays it so well.
Used
he plays
car
it so
salesman.
well. Exactly. Just I hate that smile.
sugar enriched flour.
Oh yeah, talking about the
Yellow
Twinkie.
dye number 5. Isn't it yellow dye number 5 that? Wasn't there one of those yellow dyes back in the day that had to recall a bunch of them because it had lead in them?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I seem to remember that. It was like yellow dye something was like severely recalled back in the day. That old, yeah.
I think I've only had like in my lifetime. I know you're gonna say this. You're gonna be surprised because I'm fat, but
Twinkies?
I've only had like 2 Twinkies.
What
ever.
about, Joe Louis? We have that in Canada. That's like
Yeah, I've
the
had
best.
a few Joe Louis, but they're dry.
You don't like a Joe Louis?
I'm not a big fan of Joe Louis.
I used to love those fucking
I love
things.
it's like the little pink. They're not the snowballs. It's like the pink logs.
Oh,
Those
yeah,
things
yeah.
are good
Yeah.
with like the coconut on it.
Yeah. I ate so many sweets in high school that like just sweets have no real effect on me anymore.
Sweets.
Yeah, just I don't crave like the
I'm
odd
a
time
big
I'll-
salt fan. I'm a big salt.
Yeah,
fan,
salty
like-
crunchy. That's me.
Yeah, me too. Me
fucking
too.
bag of chips. I
Bag of chips.
can't buy those anymore. Just fucking as soon as you open it, you're like, oh, I guess I'm gonna eat this whole bag of chips.
Well, I mean, and then, well, here's the thing: is my dad loves chips,
Yeah.
popcorn and chips.
Yeah,
but
it's the
like
best.
my mom will buy like just a giant amount of like maybe let's say 6 bags of chips.
Okay.
We sit down, we watch a movie, we open a bag of chips. Like I don't know, 10 minutes later. That's pushing it. It's
Crush
just
a
like
bag
done,
of salt and Vinny's pretty
and then
quick.
it's just like, go get another bag. Like I remember times we've eaten like 3 bags.
That's
of chips.
excessive. They get-
And I mean I
doesn't
kind
it
of
bother you? Like after a while, I'm like, oh, it's stuck with my teeth.
yeah. Well, it depends on. I mean, you can't eat like 3 bags of salt and vinegar. Like you're just gonna die.
3 bags of salt and vinegar. You're gonna get septic. Like
Like I feel pickled at that point.
I love that he gets a Coke too. That's
Isn't
like
it a
big
tab
thing.
or is it a Coke?
No, it's Coca-Cola.
Never had a tab, but I feel like in the 80s they used to drink a lot of tab.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure that was Coca-Cola though.
I want to say it's a tab.
That's still.
We can't say. We can't see, Adam.
John.
There's no product placement in this one.
No, I guess not. Unless it's for like undershirts.
Get with the pro. Undershirts and no shoes.
Yeah.
The people that are selling no shoes, they're making a killing in this thing. John. Like, he's
Yeah.
trying to save him. But I love, like, he's so cocky going like, John, you gotta listen, John. Mm-hmm. John, no, come on, listen, bro. Like, it's all gonna be good, John. He's just a businessman with a gun. It's all good.
Again, like some of these backgrounds, it's just like an out of focus like matte painting in the back. Well, like a pre-painted thing. You know, that's how they get the lighting the way they do, you know? So I love the transformation of the confidence to like now he's like he's realizing it's not gonna go down. I better drink my Coca-Cola.
I love earlier on when Hans Gruber says
there's
like,
apparently there's a way more brutal, like they had shot him getting shot in the head, and then like you sort of see it, like you pan behind his head in a minute, and like you see a hole or something like that. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Adam. They cut it away. Why? Because he flinches.
Oh, that's also one I've heard, because it was too gory.
But I again, that's what I mean. There's just so many sources I hear from that they were always cutting away because he kept flinching. But I don't know, because doing that makes it seem better.
Yeah.
Like, you get it. You get with the gunshot.
You
You
get
kind of
what
see him in the
happened.
corner. It's fine.
And
it's all
it's
good.
the reaction of everyone else
Exactly.
that sort of works.
I don't know. It works well.
Yeah, and again, it's indicative of the time, you know, like the less is more, and you know,
Yeah,
they
these
used
days,
the strength they had. They
I
would
remember.
have blown his head
It's
out.
funny too, like, because you think of like old school movies, like we had the one with Evil Dead. Is they were trying to get around the MPAA.
Yeah,
and trying to like make it better, but like these days, the amount of shit that can get through to an R-rated like is insane.
for gore and all that.
Gore is insane.
But like you say shit bitch cunt, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this is 18A, like, you know. It's language. It's the language that people care about more than violence and.
Actually, sex is pretty bad. Sex is pretty bad. But I know what you mean about the language.
But even with sex, you can go like almost all the way up to, you know,
Full on nudity.
yeah, like it gets.
It's true. There's some pretty hot and heavy sex scenes in PG-13 films.
It's very
Even the
suggestive.
violence can be.
This shot, they
Yeah.
apparently had to like tweak it a bit because it was too much.
Like, there's a lot.
Yeah, so
You can kind of see through the head.
a little bit, eh? So it works out pretty well. I love that the Liberté
Leaders
du
of Liberté
Québec.
Canada.
That was a real.
They are, yeah,
It was
they were.
the FLQ, right?
Yeah, it's those guys.
The Canada's only big terrorist, homegrown terrorist.
Homegrown terrorists.
Yeah,
What
they
did they
killed
do?
people. They killed the guy.
Well, they put him in a trunk.
Yeah, they killed him though.
I mean, I don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
I just know there was a guy in a trunk,
Yeah.
and they were bad people.
Yeah.
Us Canadians don't really know much about our own terrorists.
No, it was like a homegrown terrorist thing. It had to do with them wanting to separate from the country, and they put in like martial law. That was when the first Trudeau was prime minister, and he was widely criticized for basically having martial law, which understandably, but they ended up catching all of them pretty quick. So they were hard to catch apparently because they were small cells. Like two guys would only know one other guy. That one guy would only know. Like it was hard to.
Smart.
You couldn't catch one and then break them all down up the chain.
I feel like, was it smart of them to do that, or it's just because those were the only people in the area?
It could be that. It's also like everything in Quebec isn't very well organized too.
They have to do everything in French and in English.
much like the road system in Quebec.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't think I've ever driven in Montreal, and I don't plan to.
It can get hairy.
That's what, like, the last time I went to Montreal,
Just take the metro or.
no, like I drove there. Not myself. My ex was driving us, but Yeah, we got stuck in traffic at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that'll happen in
Like
Montreal.
3 a.m. Why? Because they closed down the highway.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Like,
Well, they'll work on
Why?
highways late at night. I don't know.
sure, but like here in Ottawa, they'll close down one lane. This thing, they close down everything.
Yeah.
I love this terrorist
The
hostage guy
like
with the expert.
the expert. I feel like this is also like CNN now, like where they have 10 million experts come on to talk about something they're really not an expert about.
I love that guy.
Finland.
Finland. Oh boy.
And I like how this guy's like it's gonna be a special bond they're gonna have. Like they're gonna move, what is it, Nightingale syndrome
Yeah.
immediately.
Well, that's Helsinki syndrome. they
Helsinki,
called
that's,
it.
yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty much just Down syndrome. It's not It's not Down syndrome.
It's
That's not what I meant to say. No, it's Stockholm syndrome.
that's what it is. Nightingale syndrome. That's when they fall in love with a nurse or
The
something.
nurse.
Yeah.
Because that's Ernest Hemingway thing, is it?
I don't know. I don't know where it comes from.
No relation.
Yeah, no relation. I love how smug they are too. Like they miss Vietnam. You know,
Yeah.
that's what they talk about at one point. Not anymore. We're in control.
You know, apparently the FBI doesn't actually cut the power as frequently as they make it seem like they do in the
No.
movie. I mean, I guess in movie lore
They're trying to cut the power in the States right now.
of the whole states, all of it,
Well,
I mean, they're with the
investigation.
or the net neutrality thing.
Yeah, well, that's what the FCC's doing that.
That's scary.
It is scary.
You mean I gotta pay extra for my porn, Adam?
Yeah.
What kind of ridiculous thing is that?
There's riots in the streets.
So apparently this scene right here, this is the scene that John McClane and Hans Gruber meet for the first time.
I actually really hate the American accent he does.
See, I do too. I think it's awful. I think it's not a great accent. At least it doesn't seem like a great accent. That jump that he did right there,
Yeah.
he hurt his knee like really, really badly.
Oh yeah. I really don't like. I don't know the
there's-
acting. I don't know if he's doing the bad acting on purpose. Because
I hate his accent. But here's the funny thing about this accent: the people, the producers and stuff that they heard his accent, they thought it was pretty good, and that's the whole reason there's this whole scene. They needed to find a way for them to meet, and after they heard his accent, they're like, we could just have you pretend you're someone else, and then this whole scene was almost kind of not ad lib, but it was very improv a bit. Like they had never met before in person until they did this one shot, one scene. Like they never rehearsed this at all. They just did it.
the other thing,
So
like,
maybe that's something as well.
so
with
like
it.
his
It's just-
accent
it's very-
here, his accent here, like obviously they would have to do this all ADR too, right? So he would have had to redo that accent in studio later, right? Because like you can see all like the smoke and stuff coming out. They wouldn't have ever been able to get that.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
one
I
go.
never thought of that.
So like they would have had time to try and get it right after.
But
I
to
don't know.
me, it doesn't
bothers
sound
me. It's
right.
one of the only parts of this movie. Like
too.
it's like, oh, they're acting right now. I know it's pretty fantastic.
Especially for Alan Rickman.
Yeah, I know that's the only thing.
Oh, please don't kill me.
Oh no! I don't know. It doesn't work for me. But
It doesn't fit.
no, not.
But
as
I think
much.
that might be because of the non-rehearsing ofness, that maybe it went a little too much over the top. I
Maybe.
mean, Alan Rickman comes from theater background before this.
I like the cigarettes. Like the cigarettes keep like
Yeah.
swindling down. Yeah,
I hate that. Yeah, I mean, it's the.
It doesn't work as well, right?
Ah, I hate it.
yeah.
Absolutely hate
That's
it.
why last Boy Scout, he's always asking for cigarettes. Like, you got some
See,
cigarettes?
this one's probably not ADR, so that's probably he had to match that.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't work. But
We all agree.
But he knows. But John McClane knows. He knows right away who he is, right?
I thought he found out because of the cigarette.
The cigarette, and then it's the name. But he sees him through the elevator earlier.
Does he?
I don't know. I think I'd be able to pick out some of these, even if they were putting on an accent. You know? If they were putting on an accent, I think just the timbre of their voice, you'd still be able to, like, oh, that's that guy.
Can you
think.
tell? Can you?
Yeah, I can usually. I don't know.
I'm pretty damn good with that.
It's just like audio stuff.
Well, didn't you just see it right there on the floor? Because he looks over at the floor and there's.
It doesn't add up.
Yeah. So. I'm alone now, because Adam needed to pee, but of course he just did very nonchalantly, just left the place. I feel like there's always a section in this part of the podcast, and it's just like, this is the part where Adam pees. But anyway, so provides him with the gun. If anybody has ever watched Die Hard and you actually enjoy or think that accent is believable or actually like that scene, please say something, because I don't think there's anybody that does, but I feel like there is. I don't know where I'm going with this. He's taking forever. Give me my detonators. Yeah. He's coming out soon. So we're just going to pretend like I wasn't talking about that this whole time. So yeah, like I was saying, so yeah, in this scene, yeah, Adam, you were here the whole time.
Where's the detonators? You used them all.
See, look, you leave and you just throw us right off.
No.
We were right in the middle of something, Adam. Talking about accents.
The accents.
And now we lost
Oops, no bullets. I love that. You think I'm fucking stupid? I love that. Gets him though. Gets one of
it.
them.
He does. A part here is funny because he tells the guy in German to shoot the glass.
Yeah.
And then has to repeat it. It's like, I thought he was German.
And it says it in English.
English.
Yeah. This is like one of the scenes where they got a bunch of. Oh, that's a great gory scene, and all these different glass bits they get.
Yeah, that part, man.
To get
Those
the glass
knees.
to shatter and to do different things.
I mean, the guy's not dead.
No, you wouldn't die.
You wouldn't die from that. That guy's not dead.
No.
Maybe he is. Maybe from blood loss.
Could be. If
Like
you get shot
there's a
in the-
lot of blood in those knees.
If you get shot in the femur, maybe.
Like, there's just so many glass shots. I'm
All
like, he's
the
dead
glass. Yeah. Carl. What?
now. Shoot the glass.
I don't know what you're saying. Oh. Shoot the glass.
Didn't understand that right there. What was that? You can't speak. Oh, okay, right. It's not right.
I see what you're
pronunciation.
saying.
I
He's like
got it.
blinking a bunch, but I don't know. It goes by quick enough that you're like, whatever.
I think it's maybe like, I feel like the other way you can look at it is maybe he's like, what? What do you mean shoot the glass? And then he has to go like, no, just trust me and just shoot the glass.
Maybe in German it translates to something else.
Well, there was a fan theory to say that Hans wasn't actually German.
Oh.
He was actually putting on the accent and pretending to be German as like, again, like he's pretending to be a terrorist.
Oh.
So that's why his German isn't actually correct. So instead of saying shoot the glass, he's saying something completely different. That's why the guy's looking at him like, what? What the hell are you saying? But as you know, with the third one, it is specified that he is in fact
German. Right. But both like him and Jeremy
Are
Irons
British. I know. It's very odd that they, and you can kind of see they have, I love that head. It's so dramatic.
Which one? Oh,
The
that
Carl head twist back,
Yeah.
like, how dare you, like,
Yeah.
you know, insult my honor.
guy. Yeah. You got something. Yeah. You got something.
Ugh, they ruin his life.
Yeah. You know what? Like, this is exactly what news places do
This is
now.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
They do anything to get the story, and they don't care.
Invade people's privacy. They, like, ruin people's lives and all this crazy stuff. Yeah.
There's our favorite Asian man.
Yeah.
Our only favorite Asian man.
This guy's really upset. I'm so upset.
I really hate him. I really hate him.
Really, really hate him.
I love her Holly, because the line of only John could drive somebody that crazy is also just a funny joke on how their marriage went.
Right?
And
Yeah.
also, that shirt is extremely dirty.
It's true.
It went from white to now it's not just
this
like
like
brown.
This gag of all the blood coming out, it's great, you know?
that's great, but that's accurate. Have you ever cut your foot?
Yeah. Well, I cut my finger. You saw all the blood.
So much blood comes out of a foot.
Yeah, man.
Like I remember like just stepping on one tiny little thing and like it's like you're dragging blood everywhere. I can't imagine like all those shards.
Yeah, you'd
But
be fucked.
But I swear that shirt is not that's not a white shirt. That's a green shirt that they got. Like
Yeah,
it's a light green shirt. Like
Probably, but
there's no way there's no white anywhere.
yeah, I suppose it's starting to change colors pretty quick. Maybe he's just dirty. He's just like
But dirty
sweating dirty.
everywhere?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been shot at.
But what I'm saying is it's like it's not just little bits of patches of dirt. Like I mean I can understand like being covered in dirt, but I feel like it wouldn't completely cover every single inside, outside, all the stitches.
Yeah, maybe.
It gets brown.
Yeah. I guess I cut out some pretty like the sound effects of like squishy kind of gory
Squishy sounds.
Yeah, when the glass is
I
coming
want to
out.
see the unrated first Die Hard.
Yeah, I don't know.
More language, more gore, more boob calendars.
I like Sergeant Al Powell's backstory here that he shot a kid.
Shot the kid.
I shot a kid. You know. I like to give him like some sort of like I don't know, and it like adds up for the end, right?
Yeah, when he finally takes out the guy.
Yeah, it sort of works out well, you know. That's like that's why they do the way he is, you know. I don't know. I always thought that was good backstory for like it's enough. It's
Again,
enough.
everybody gets a backstory in this thing.
It's
Like
a little bit, eh? It's enough backstory and
even the
character.
Carl guy gets a backstory.
A little bit, eh?
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
He gets his story arc.
It gets like a small one at least, right? Yeah. Now it's the FBI. I like this. The feds.
Why didn't you just say it?
Yeah.
Damn it, Al, why are you playing a
It's
guessing
more
game?
dramatic. It's more dramatic when they do that, right?
It's
I
funny
guess,
how it's funny how though this whole movie really stands on the fact that they need the FBI there.
Yeah,
They
right.
need the FBI.
It's part of the plan.
They really need that. Without that,
But I guess that's why they do the terrorist thing. Is that what?
yeah, it's part of the terrorist handbook or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what it goes by. I guess on the DVD I have, there's an extended cut, apparently cutting the power.
Is there an extended?
No,
cut of
this isn't the extended. This is theatrical. But this whole guy's like, it's like I can cut the power. It was like just like a plot device, I guess. But there is a longer sequence of cutting the power to the building. It was like a bigger sequence, I guess, in the film. Like it was the FBI just didn't hit a button and turn it all off. So I always sort of liked the TV, like movie channel versions of movies. Like they would give you sometimes the longer cut. Like,
Sometimes, most of the
before-
time they're cut.
no, but before, like there'd be like those movie channel movies that they would like, you know, Terminator 2. Like there's all those extended scenes. And the only way to see those extended scenes back in the day before like the DVD special features came out, it was still VHS days. Was like unless you bought Laserdisc or you watched them on TV.
Really?
You know, so.
Like
there's
I know watching it on TV because I used to record a lot of stuff on like video cassette, right? Like when
Yeah.
I played on TV. But for example, things like Jumanji, I started recording like 10 minutes in. So every time I watch it now, I'm just like, this is like watching a whole new beginning.
You know, one of my friends, he makes tapes like, and you can watch like an old like show and with the commercials from like the 1990s.
it feels so weird watching those 1990s commercials.
You know what? I love it. We had it on at Halloween just as like background filler.
Look, it gives you that. It's The Ode to Joy.
Yeah.
Notice the Ode to Joy plays a lot. It's not. This is not the first
Yeah,
time you hear it.
apparently-
He whistles it in the elevator early on. It's also heard a little bit just faint at one point, but this is like
Yeah.
obviously this thing comes in and it's like
Michael
the
Kamen.
bandits are joyful.
Michael Kamen and John McTiernan apparently was very like they're like they wanted something that was like royalty free that they could pull from, but that was familiar, you know.
Why Beethoven? No. Beethoven. Trust me.
Yeah. Now Ode to Joy is sort of considered sort of Christmassy now too, I guess, right? Because of this.
Is it not the same? And then in the third one, it's not the Ode to Joy. It's the I forget how it goes.
It's like the ant worker.
It's so weird how like they each brother had their own
But they had a similar sort of theme, you know.
classical music themes that really worked well.
No, yeah,
As
it's
well.
true, and it gets the point across of what's happening.
And anytime again.
No,
they
the other
were-
one. Oh, that's Agent Johnson. No, the other one. We're on the way.
There comes the ending.
All the bonds.
You know what's funny is Bonds, even in 1988, was considered to be the amount of bonds that there is in that safe.
Yeah.
There is some speculations that Nakatomi Tower or whatever business that he was doing wasn't
Yeah.
exactly on the up and up
Oh, really?
because of like bonds. Because one of the reasons you could do the thing with bonds is the government had to pay them out.
Right.
So even if they stole them, they can still get the money for that.
Oh, really?
I believe so. That's what I read.
It was
up
an
on,
inside job.
Hey, that was one of the fan theories of like the business that was going on here might not have been completely
I mean,
legal.
it's not that far fetched.
No,
actually.
I don't think it is either.
What? A corporation?
A corporation? What?
Not
How could you
playing
do
by
that,
the rules?
Disney/Fox?
Yeah. It's like so now Disney's gonna own like 45% of like the theatrical sort of world.
Just wait long enough for the DCEU to make more crappy movies, and next thing you know, Disney's gonna buy them out
They're
too.
gonna buy everything. You know what's it's sort of frustrating about that, I find, is like 90s, 80s, even the 70s, there was smaller studios.
Yeah.
Like there's no theatrical like, $10 million movies anymore, It's
Well, they're-
all big tentpole
They're not
movies.
that big anymore. Like there are some small. At least I remember E1 used to be a lot smaller.
Yeah,
and
but
then
now-
they got put on the map with Twilight.
They bought like Alliance and all that.
Yeah.
Now they're the biggest. Well, in Canada, they're the biggest distribution company in Canada.
It's crazy. Or the one that distributed Seth Rogen's company.
Oh,
That's more of a
that?
smaller.
Yeah. But all the small stuff's just going to
They're getting bigger.
to iTunes now, but
It's true.
there's no like New Line as much as there was.
Or a lot of indies go to the streaming services.
That's what
like
happens, which is
Netflix
it's
and
not
stuff.
bad, but I sort of miss that genre of like a Miramax, you
Yeah,
get this
it's more
10
for those indie.
I guess they're not
filmmakers.
indie, but like the early
Well, some of them were.
Tarantino
Adam,
stuff.
Some of them
yeah,
were.
I
mean,
guess.
Tarantino was considered an indie filmmaker at the time.
Yeah, I guess
He was
like
able to raise the funds, but like
getting picked up too.
same
Like
thing with Rodriguez.
yeah, Rodriguez getting picked up.
Now this guy's
Have you
directing
seen-
like the.
Have you seen
Angel...
the trailer for that?
I did.
I have mixed feelings. I'm like, I like the cast. And I like.
Is it
like-
the eyes? The eyes bother you?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I guess just the concept alone. I was like,
I
what's
watched it
happening?
without any sound.
Okay.
So to me, visually, I'm like, oh, this looks kind
It
of
looks pretty
interesting.
cool.
And a lot of people are all like mad about those eyes. And you know what? Who cares?
Well, she's a robot, so
It's
whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny how this woman right here is supposed to play Spanish,
Mexican.
but she's actually Italian.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot. That's like Pacino, right? He plays like
a
Italian
lot of
guy,
Cubans
Cuban, Mexican. He does like a lot of different. You can always like apparently you can just like
Intermix them.
you can intermix them according to Hollywood.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of
Yeah,
A lot of that.
You know, there's like that the Native American that like the tear coming down.
yeah.
That guy was Italian.
No.
Yeah.
No, bullshit.
Yeah, that was like sort of revealed later on. Like those people were like really, obviously, for a good reason, upset about that.
I can understand that. You know, you want to know something that's funny but not funny is, and then out of all these Hollywood whitewashing that people are always angry about, and all this stuff about these casting, and then there's Rob Schneider that just no one gives a shit.
Why?
The man's played an Asian man. And I now pronounce
woman?
it's like a circle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's played multiple Middle Eastern people
Oh yeah.
in multiple films. Like no one seems to care that this man can do.
Because it's Rob Schneider.
Because it's
He's
Rob
not big
Schneider,
enough.
I guess.
He's not big enough.
And no, Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider is a stapler.
What?
That's South Park.
I don't watch
Oh,
that.
that's a good one. They sort of make fun of that fact that he's played a bunch of different things.
Yeah,
I don't know why Carl doesn't shoot him right away.
Because it's a movie.
He wants to have a fist fight with him.
It's always a fist fight. That's the thing from the 80s, though, too, is they always have to have their fist fight.
Yeah, I sort of missed that too. This looks pretty brutal.
It looked, I know, when you see it, it always looked insanely brutal. And
Yeah.
they're covered in blood at the end of that. It's not,
Kicks him.
is it this one that he hangs the guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna hang him.
In this scene, I forget
actor?
exactly what happened, but the actor wasn't able to do it that day or something. That they actually got the stuntman
Oh yeah,
or someone else to actually fill in with like a wig and stuff and finish those scenes.
really?
Yeah.
Well, I know in Temple of Doom, the big fight at the end.
yeah, because like he hurt his back.
Yeah,
really bad.
it's just like it's a stuntman the whole time, and then they just like cut to close-ups.
I mean,
every
you ever
now and-
see the Harrison Ford stuntman? Like that guy looks almost exactly like Harrison
Really?
Ford.
No, I've never seen it.
It's not just Indiana Jones. Like he's that stuntman's been used
In a ton of
for
stuff.
a ton
Yeah.
of stuff that Harrison Ford's been. Like it's his go-to guy.
Oh, yeah. Like there's the Schwarzenegger had a guy like that too.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's like, you know, in the
Well,
the
because if
second
you have one good guy that looks exact, why wouldn't you just use that guy, right?
the
Like-
when the bike drops down like into the
oh
LA
yeah,
River
I
there.
remember that.
And it's-
Didn't they change that?
And they might have, but it's clearly just
Yeah,
that
it's
stunt guy. But
clearly-
he looks pretty.
Well, I wouldn't say pretty good.
You know, it's a different guy, but that's what's I don't know. Again, like you just buy, you're like, cool, somebody actually did that.
Well, when they did the re-release of T2 at the movies not too long ago, like this
Yeah.
year, it had some modifications that James Cameron had added digital effects to and certain things. And one of the things that he did was change back the face and give Arnold back his
that's not
face,
so good.
which some people were upset about. And it's just like, I mean, I forget exactly the term, but you know, it's the thing that people are always angry about George Lucas doing. With the
Yeah,
originals.
just
But I will
changing.
say something, and I might get people might hate me for saying this, but you know what? There are some things in the original that that did much better in the special editions.
Oh,
Like some
of
things
Star
look
Wars?
a lot better in Star Wars Special Edition than they do when you watch the original cut,
Yeah.
the original. You're
I sort of agree.
Some of it, you're just like I can understand some of the CG, like they went overboard adding creatures and stuff. Sure, but there are other things you're just like, you know what though? That looks a lot better.
Yeah, no, that's true. I was always for it. I was always thought it was cool. Like, oh, we got all this extra stuff. Like,
A little extra stuff. I mean, there are certain things like sometimes you can understand going a little too much. Here, this is what we were talking about earlier. It's just he gets shot.
yeah, it's like,
How many times do you see the hero get shot?
yeah,
And like shot, like it's
that's a great shot.
gruesome the way
Comes
they
out of the
do
door.
it too, eh? Just like the
Yeah.
blood splatter on the
It's the blood.
shoulder.
kicks him in the face. He's really beat up at this point too.
Yeah, it's but it's classic like hero film, like action movie that you always have to have the final fist fight with the bad guy. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, it's not with the main bad guy because I mean usually it would have been with the Hans Gruber of the sort.
Yeah,
But
yeah. You're just a common thief. I mean, like that's like he's
I
like
know.
that's what he takes.
He's like no. If you're gonna get something right,
I'm an exceptional thief.
I'm the best.
What a great kick. He's gonna go for a karate chop.
He thinks he's Van Damme.
Nobody uses karate chops anymore.
I feel like they wouldn't hurt that much. I feel like a punch to the throat would hurt a lot more than a
A chop to the throat, maybe.
maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a martial arts expert. I've never been chopped.
I don't know.
Ugh.
I got slap chopped once.
Oof. And then classic hang too. Like I
Yeah.
feel like bad guys always get hanged at the end with chains. It's always a thing. They always have to have chain fights, and then someone gets hung.
There was like the Steven Seagal DMX movie there, From the Cradle to the Grave. I think that's what it's called. But I remember at one point Steven Seagal is see, just like
Yeah, I just saw it.
is like he's like wrapping his fists in chains to fight somebody. And I remember as a kid, I was like, "Oh yeah, use the chains. That'll work." like it would just break your hand.
Yeah, I
immediately.
would think like that would hurt.
It would, yeah, like even if you just wrap your fists in and you
Yeah.
fell wrong, it might break your hand.
But I know what you mean, right? It's that it's the cool factor.
Yeah. Oh, that guy gets
No.
blown away. Not our favorite Asian guy.
It's my favorite guy.
Yeah.
He's probably one of my favorite henchmen, really. I mean, let alone favorite Asian guy.
It's like
He's-
Danny Trejo. Like, he just
Yeah.
always showing up. The vault. They have to
gotta
get
go to
off,
the
yeah.
vault. Yeah, because they're blowing the floor.
Yeah. They got to get out of the way. They got to get down.
Like that's just Like that woman will never gave birth. Like she had a miscarriage. Like the amount of stress
Jesus, I
she's
hope
gone
not.
through.
I hope
You gotta
not.
think though.
This looks great. Like, they actually had
does
to have
look really
people
good.
up on that roof, you know? These things out of the helicopter, you can tell that's some rear screen projection there, but that's like a complicated shot, right? Like,
Helicopter comes by.
I think that's a model
But
actually.
it
The
looks
helicopter
good
that goes
though.
over.
It looks
Yeah.
so good. Yeah, that looks
Out the
pretty-
window. It's still one of those things. But you know, again, watching it in the theater on
theaters,
film
really?
on 35, it has to be on like seeing a
Classic
original
35.
frame. I don't know. It just like it works. It's just like the blacks sort of just sit together like fine, you know? Because that's sort of what you're seeing, right? You're seeing two different blacks. Like the shadows and everything don't fully line up. You're
What are you
seeing
doing,
edges.
John?
All that.
I love him talking to himself, going like he calls his own shit that what he's about to do is
Yeah.
like is clearly not something he would ever do ever. There's Huey Louie,
Huey Lewis.
and Dewey.
But where's the news? There's something wrong. Below the roof.
But Carl's up there.
And then they blow it up. So this is like another great practical effect, you know, of models. I mean, the models are pretty big. Like they're you know, still pretty large.
I mean, still again for '88. I mean, yeah, there's certain things that look like you're like, okay, clearly this is fake, but
yeah, well,
not enough.
boom. That works so good.
yeah, just lights and
Yeah.
debris, lights and
And it
debris.
blows up pretty good. Again, that's a model. You know,
Ooh,
I love
oh,
that.
that looks like it hurts.
You know, there's all this blood. It's
I know.
disgusting,
It's
eh?
so nasty.
It works so well, though.
Funny how walking on glass cuts you all together, but doing that and landing on glass,
Yeah,
perfectly fine.
You'd be so screwed.
I love this part. It's like, you think he's done? No.
I do like that. It's just like there's the here, and then it's like on a mat, so it's pulling him even
Yeah.
more,
Oh god.
and he's got to like pull it off. It's so good. Just like,
And his face right here. It's like he's still freaking out of what he
Yeah.
just happened.
Yeah.
Very good. It holds up so well.
I always thought that was a cool shot.
I always thought it would feel so good for him right there.
In the water.
Oh, like every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, he must be like, oh, thank God, this feels good.
Finally,
Oh,
he goes to have a shower.
there he is. He's
Yeah.
taking a shower.
Yeah, this had to be a set because of how much they had to blow stuff up. But it's so good. I need some more FBI guys. That's
Like,
such
I don't know,
a
I
funny
just always
line.
felt like it would feel so good for his feet right there. I felt so.
You felt relieved for
I
him.
did. I really did. Every time I watch it, like he's so beat up. He's bloodied everywhere. He's shot. Like
His feet are all frayed.
oh my god! It's just the scene where he's just like, when he comes in,
Yeah.
he looks disgusting.
Oh, here we go. Here's the big.
Oh,
I think is it the same truck, or did
Yeah.
they get a bigger truck?
no, I feel like it's the same truck, but we never see it.
And then.
But when they come out, at the beginning,
the van is kind of small. It's like one of those Shriners kind of cars, you know.
but also when they come out at the beginning, they open the door and they
Oh, yeah,
all
you
come out
would've-
of the van. There's
You would have
nothing in
seen
there.
it. Yeah, you would have seen it. Yeah. But
It doesn't make any sense.
no, it doesn't make any sense at all.
But it's not something you really notice.
No.
Unless you like watch it
You gotta-
a
you gotta
bunch
really,
of
like-
times, or if someone tells you about it.
Yeah, you got to really, be into the movie.
It's got 2 shots.
I like
The
this.
Christmas music and just like, yeah.
It's good. I like.
Apparently the
Argyle's moment.
the punch that he gives to I forget that guy's name. Toby?
It's sad. It's black on black crime.
He really nails that thing. But the
Yeah.
punch is a real punch.
He actually decks
Yeah,
him.
because it doesn't look real other than. I mean, it's not that like I always felt the punch
I like that.
isn't even that great.
He's just like, yeah, I did something.
But apparently he actually did hit him because previously it didn't look real enough.
Oh, that's too bad.
He looks so dead. Hans!
I love that.
Like he just looks, it's just he's walking, you're like, oh my god. But like he wasn't even limping then before. Now he's full on limp.
Yeah.
Like he's so
Honey.
bad.
I like that.
It's just, oh my god, he's in bad shape. And you don't see many heroes being like in such bad
Yeah,
shape at the
that's
end
true.
of a movie.
I know it's true. It's
Huey Lewis is still alive.
It's always a great part of the movie.
This part, yeah, no, I remember watching for the first time, and then they do the pan up to it. You're like, oh shit!
I mean, you really see it coming.
Do
Like,
you? They show
yeah.
tape. They show tape. You don't really get it. I remember, I was like 14 at the time. Like I was
I
like, okay,
guess.
tape.
Yeah, I would have bought
I was
that.
like, where's the tape? And then like I remember when it pans, I was like, oh shit! Shit!
I think I watched this like when I was like 18 or 20.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I know what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
because yeah, you were about 18 when
I
it
guess-
came out, eh? 1988.
yeah. It's also been parodied a bunch.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, the old tape on the
the end
back.
of Usual Suspects too. Like
Did
that was
it similar?
no. I'm just saying that was parodied so much that when I watched it for the first time, I was like,
Scream.
Scream parody.
No, sorry, Scary Movie.
Yeah, that's
Scary
what it was,
Movie.
sorry.
Yeah, Scary Movie ruined
The end of that.
the end of Usual
Yeah.
Suspects because I was like, wait, what? It's Dewey.
Yeah.
But I didn't get it. Like I was like, I never understood it in Scary Movie.
Motherfucker.
Motherfucker. It's the way he says it. Motherfucker.
It's pretty good.
There, I was just like, oh shit! Oh
And
my
they bring
god!
back the
And the
Christmas tape.
God, it's nasty.
She's like, uh-oh. Gets him.
Right in the head.
Gets him. I love that. Does that. Happy trails, Hans. So even this plot device, it's the watch
Yeah.
that he gives her
Yeah.
that he's holding on to. So I guess this has been on the internet a bunch, but they actually drop Professor Snape here for real.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy that was holding him, because it was about a 20-foot drop. They were going to drop him on 3, and then they just let him go at 2. To get
Yeah,
that.
so it's genuine shock
Yeah.
when he's like
And apparently this was shot at 300 frames a second.
to give that
To
slow-mo.
give it that super slow.
It has a good look to it though. Eh?
It's so slow, and then there's the cut. They're like, it's the hands.
Yeah.
When they show the other thing, it seems abnormally slow.
I hope that's not a hostage. I love that.
Like it's just,
Is that a real guy falling? You think?
yeah,
And it just falling into a thing.
into a thing.
You know, that's a great again stunt guy just
I know.
fucking falling off a building. It's so dangerous now. They would
Because I
never
mean,
do it.
there was a dummy. You can't get the dummy to do the arm. I feel like they were like, really move your arms. We really want to tell that it's not
Imagine
a
you have
dummy.
to do the jump. You have to tell that guy, okay, you got to go back up and do it again. We didn't get it.
I feel like you'd get like two guys.
Yeah,
One
maybe.
guy, and then by the time the other guy does it, like you're already up there.
In Temple of Doom when they cut the bridge and they drop the dudes down, those
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
be dummies. So they specially
I know.
they specially rig guys. They do like little drummer boy kind of just they don't bend their
Little
elbows.
robots.
They don't bend their elbows. They just bend like their shoulders.
Oh yeah, and when the crocodiles eat them, it just looks like there's a steak in clothes.
Yeah. But when you watch that as a kid, I was like, gross.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but then again, it was a kids movie.
I guess at the time it's actually a prequel.
It is a prequel.
Yeah,
It's also the worst one.
Yeah, you don't like it?
Temple of Doom?
That's my second favorite.
It's your second favorite
Yeah.
after Raiders?
Raiders, Temple.
Really?
Yeah.
You like Temple over
Yeah, I don't
Last
know.
Crusade.
I just love I love how Temple starts
I love the beginning,
and
but I hate the rest of it.
I love the secret cult. But it was a real cult back in the day,
But completely wrong.
yeah, but
The way
like
they did it.
but still, like, I just thought it was fun. I love he finally gets to meet him.
Yeah. And
So
the only
good.
ever time he ever meets Al
Yeah.
on screen.
How you doing? I love that. When you want to hang out with him all the time after, you're like,
Oh yeah,
let's
you're
be
like,
buds,
you saved my life.
right? This is great. This is my wife, Holly.
Holly McClane.
That's
Which
so
is funny
good.
because the second one, you're like, oh, there's some hope for them,
And then
they
no.
completely drop it after
I know.
that.
They always like have it
But
like.
I hate it and I like it at the same time. I hate it because they never really get together.
No, I do like that though.
But I do like exactly. It feels more realistic. If they have problems before, this isn't gonna solve
yeah,
everything.
I like this. No.
He's got do it, Al. Shoot the asshole.
Like
And it's
that.
the gun.
You
It's
just see
so
the gun,
big and it's just,
it's like Dirty Harry's gun,
yeah,
eh?
it's very Dirty Harry style. I got shot in the shoulder.
This is a
Therefore, I
great
must go down.
reveal too. The rack focus from the barrel to his face. Dun, dun.
It was
Again-
Al the whole time.
Again, when you watch this in theaters with people at Christmas, people like full on cheer. It's awesome.
I can imagine. I gotta watch more like old school classic movies. I
In
enjoyed
theater?
watching in theaters.
It's a lot of fun with like a good crowd, you know.
Like things I wanted to see. Yeah, Die Hard would be something classic.
Back to the
Indiana
Future when
Jones.
they
Back to
every
the Future,
now and
that's
then
yeah.
the Mayfair will get like an original print. It's all beat up every now and then. There's like scratches, but
Sweet.
it's like it's got a lot of character. I love
Don't
that.
worry, he's with me.
Yeah. Argyle.
I get it, Al, that you're trigger happy now. Like he's ready to shoot anything.
I'm good at this.
I'll shoot all the kids now.
I like this. This is like, and it puts a good cap on it. I love that. Doesn't he say, "Did you get that?"
I thought he did, yeah, or
Yeah.
something similar, or cut it. But and it's funny again, like that's one of the best parts of the second one.
Is that yeah?
Is
yeah?
is
Did you
is,
get
there,
that?
is there because he put a restraining on her too.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't be in any. It's like, well, nothing we can do.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, and here we go.
The weather outside is frightful. And people say this isn't a Christmas movie. Come
Yeah.
on. Got everything at Christmas you want. You got family.
Christmas trees, family,
Christmas tree, Christmas
terrorists,
music,
bank
terrorists,
robberies.
exactly. Blood, lots of blood.
Yeah.
Language. I mean, you
Language.
hear that every Christmas.
All right.
At least at my house.
So that was it's like Christmas
It's a Christmas
at Matt's
tradition.
house. So yeah, Die Hard.
Die Hard.
One of your favorite movies of all time.
It is. It
I would
really
say the
is. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite action movies and definitely one of my favorites. Again, loved it since I was a kid.
Okay, Die Hard or Lethal Weapon? What do you like better?
Die Hard.
Die Hard all the way. Die
Yeah.
Hard for Die Hard.
I'm more well. It's because it's also the fact that like I've only seen Lethal Weapon I think twice. Ever,
Okay.
Like the whole set. And I don't know. There's just something about Die Hard.
Yeah,
The
that's
first one, Die Hard over either any of the Lethal Weapons. I think in my book wins.
See,
the sequels are different.
Yeah. I do the same thing, Die Hard, what I do with Jurassic Park. Like, now I've watched this, I'm gonna go. I've watched the third one this week.
Yeah.
I gotta
You gotta
and
get
I'm-
the second one,
and
the
I-
fourth one.
I might skip the fourth and fifth one a bit. It's the original three that I don't know. They
I see what you mean. I know what you mean.
they do it for me a bit better, but
Well, it's also, yeah, I mean, I've only seen the fifth one once, and I don't want to see it again.
no, I saw it in theaters. I was really disappointed with how bad it was.
Yeah.
It just
It didn't feel like a Die Hard movie at all.
That actor that plays his son, he's not. I don't know. There's something about him I don't.
There's something about the whole plot. No, like his son is
Chernobyl
now like going
and
to
all
Russia.
that.
Like what is happening?
But like,
and wasn't he already in Russia at the time?
I don't know what. Yeah, something just
It just
like that.
it felt so like too much. I mean, even in a world of Die Hard where John McClane happens to be anywhere, anytime, in
Yeah.
the worst possible times, the fifth one made it even worse.
Yeah, it didn't fully work, but I don't know. Like, if it made money, right? So,
I'm not. I mean, I went to see it.
exactly. So that's also something sort of interesting. Back in the day, they would shoot all the visual effects on 65 millimeter,
Right.
65 or 70 millimeter, because the quality loss going from that, like, of the processing all the
35?
time. No, not just to 35, because they would have to process it
Okay.
multiple times. They needed that quality level to go back down to 35.
Ah, I see.
And then, like, a lot of people started just filming stuff on 60 millimeter, 70 millimeter, you know? And I sort of wish that would take off more.
It's expensive.
Well, not like the 2 new Star Wars films were shot in the digital version of it. So it's like a big sensor that captures the image. And I don't know, it's got a nice look to it. I don't know.
Definitely something you want to try in your lifetime.
I'd never be able to shoot with that. They're so expensive to rent one of those cameras.
Buy it.
Yeah.
You Tommy Wiseau and just buy cameras.
I think you'd need like million. I think they're worth over $1 million. These cameras. Like, nobody owns them.
Tommy Wiseau probably does.
Those things. Tommy Wiseau is Bruce Willis.
Oh man,
As John McClane.
I would see the shit out of that.
Yeah. You're tearing me apart, Hans. Literally, you're tearing me apart.
Oh hi Hans.
Oh, hi. Yeah, Die Hard, again, one of my favorites. I really liked the commentary track that
So definitely check it out.
that he does, that McTiernan does. Again, just sheer fact of, like, it's a lot of deep dive kind of directing and sort of cinematography, framing, nerdy stuff that I really
Yeah, I
sort
mean,
of
like I
liked.
never really look at it until today. The way you explain it, and you're right. Like there is a lot of showing it to you in your face, but not.
It's not too much.
It's not too much because it's so early on the way they do it
Yeah.
that by the time you get there,
There's a bunch
all
happening.
there.
I sort of like that. It's like there's exposition happening, dialogue, and sort of spatially
in a scene.
In a
Like,
scene.
but doesn't feel too Basil exposition. You know?
Yeah. So I don't know, and the Marriott apparently too. So we're pretty
So
well
that's the end of that.
winding down here.
So have yourself a happy holiday,
Merry Christmas.
a Merry Christmas from here at Raiders of the Lost Commentary,
Happy Hanukkah and
Kwanzaa, whatever
Kwanzaa.
other holidays there
we
is.
celebrate, and a Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Drive safe, folks. Don't drink and drive.
except for
We
Adam,
really-
who apparently does it all the time.
We really mean it. Don't drink and drive.
But if you're gonna do it, don't do it.
Do it on coke.
Game over, man. Game over.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Lost Commentary, on Instagram at Raiders of the Lost Commentary, and like us on Facebook.
I'll be back.